welcome everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, so
Bit of a special edition of live stream.
very
right?
special edition.
Or special. I don't know how you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, my name's Erik,
I'm Peter.
and today we're going to talk about CES 2026. And it's not a
Yes.
special edition because of that, because that's what we do each year.
Well,
But
also.
this is a improvised live stream from home, right, Peter?
Yes. Yeah. We have. We're in the Netherlands. We're based there, and currently we have some snowstorms here, which we are not really accustomed to.
No.
So that means that the traffic and stuff like that completely came to a halt, and people were advised to stay home. And so we
Which we
instead of going to the
gladly did.
office. Yes, well, I mean, I'm not sure. Did we tell everybody that our studio is kind of in a state of flux at the moment?
We showed them, and in the coming weeks, months, we will show them.
Yeah. So the new studio isn't ready yet anyway,
Nope.
so it's not a huge deal, but yeah, we thought let's do this one from home, and then we'll see about it later.
So it's a little bit improvised.
Yep.
Anyway, still, we want to all wish you the best for 2026.
Yes.
I hope you had a great beginning of the new year.
Indeed.
And today we have a giveaway for you. Anno, Peter, do you know the number? I'm not. I don't play this game.
117, yes.
117.
Anno 117, Pax Romana, which is an awesome game.
His favorite game. I see already a lot of people in the chat asking questions. Best wishes to you as well.
Yes.
Let's start because we have a lot of content. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember how many slides we have.
A lot.
Yeah, so now Peter will be here. Later, Michiel will join for customization. And then Mankit will join when we're going to talk about gaming
His
monitors
products,
and desktops. So yeah, a lot of content. Let's start with
Notebooks. Right?
notebooks. Yeah, this small chip is Panther Lake. Intel announced it, and this is a mobile chip. This is the how everybody will know it because we're already working several years with the internal name Panther Lake, but actually they're going to call it Series 3. So it's
Yes.
Intel Core Ultra Series 3. So it will be 300 something something. Later you will see the marketing names of the model names. This is a very, in my opinion, a very exciting CPU because it basically combines the power efficiency of Lunar Lake, which was really power efficient, with the performance of a HX CPU. So then we talk about 55 watt. So you basically get a lot of CPU power. And this is a totally new CPU. If you look closely in the middle, I'm not sure if my cursor is captured. No, it's not. But in the middle you see 3 different CPUs. And I don't know exactly which ones these are, but probably like i5, i7, and i9, or i9 and 9X. Later we will talk about it, what this X means. But yeah, this from manufacturer point of view, the CPU is totally configurable by Intel. So they work with different tiles which they can put together. So it's quite flexible.
It's kind of like Lego blocks.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
absolutely. The new MPU, of course, with more tops to do all the AI. Somebody counting? Number 1.
Yeah, it was
AI.
mentioned a lot,
Yeah, indeed.
as you would expect.
Yeah, new E-cores, new P-cores, also support for LP CAM. We already talked about the CAM memory, basically memory which you screw flat on your motherboard or on your PCB from your notebook. PCI Express Gen 5, completely up-to-date system. And the most exciting part, in my opinion, is the new GPU. And normally you have the integrated GPUs. This one is also integrated. However, on some of the CPUs, you get up to 12 Xe cores. And this one is called ARC B390. And it's quite fast. These are the benchmarks from Intel. And, well, I just showed them as reference. They also showed them compared to AMD, compared to NVIDIA. I only want to show you this slide. In the end, we need to wait what the real performance is because these slides are from Intel. But what I'm here comparing is the 285H at 45 watt with the new 388H also at 45 watt. So, and this is important for mobile. You compare something, if you want to have an honest compare, you compare something based on TDP settings. So how much power it's using.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a big step forward. They claim 76%. Let's wait for some benchmarks.
Yeah.
But this will be on par with a entry-level discrete graphic card. So for sure they upped the, how do you say that?
The ante.
Yeah, the benchmark. Yeah, yeah,
They
that's
upped the
stupid
performance a
word.
lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the end, it's a big performance gain compared to previous generations, and I think this is something that a lot of people will enjoy if they have this in their, in their system, in their mobile system. It's a big benefit to have.
Yeah. So this is an overview what Intel released about the different models they're going to release. So on the top left you see the model name. It's quite annoying that you don't see my cursor. One moment. I'm going
you
to
want to
check
mark
if
stuff.
I can fix that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's quite small. I should not do this. Maybe, Peter, maybe we do it like this. Yeah. Anyway, so the model over here, I cannot draw on it. You see the X9 and here the Ultra X9, and the model below it is the 9. So what's the difference between these two? Basically, the specs are almost the same, a little bit difference in clock speed, 200 megahertz. But here, the XE cores, which are basically the graphic cores, you get 12 when it's the X9. And here again, X7, you get 12. And this is the that's all where you get 12. So the X7, the X7 and the X9. So then we're talking about really beefy GPU integrated, a lot of performance. We have here the tops in the green column from the MPU. Well, it puzzles me a little bit. I didn't have time because all this information is quite new.
Yes.
They announced it yesterday. I didn't have time to find out why someone is 50 and the other one is 49. Because in previous generations it was always the same, no matter what clock speed or how many cores. Talking about cores, you also see they have like 6, 8, 12 and 16 core configurations. And the memory, quite interesting, it's LP5 goes up to 9600. So quite high clock speeds. And we're talking about a base clock of 25 watt, but these can boost quite a lot up to 65 to 70, to 80 watt. So this means with the boost clocks, you can get quite a lot of performance. Yeah, so this is about Intel. I mean, they had a press conference about 1 hour. They talked a little bit about AI, but a lot about the CPU. So if you're interested, please check their live stream, their press conference.
We don't want to cover this too much because they already did it, of course, and a lot of media websites also are doing it.
Let's talk about the models we released.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of new models on CES.
Yep.
And this is the new Prestige series.
Yep. Based on the new Series 3 Intel Core Ultra.
Yeah, you see the logo on the right bottom side.
Now I'm covering it, but yes. Wait.
Yeah, so first we have the Prestige 14 and 16 Flip AI Plus. So 14 and 16 is the screen diameter. So we talk about 14 inch and a 16 inch. The Flip, this means basically you can convert your notebook, what you see on the left side.
Can we maybe go to the PPT view again? Because now it's covering, our logo is covering part of the title.
Yeah, you're right, indeed, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Thanks. So on the left side you see the like a notebook, and on the right side the screen you can bend it that far that it's like a.
No, it flips.
Yeah, it flips.
It's like literally like a notebook. You can. Yeah.
Okay, you cannot really call it a tablet, right?
No.
Anyway,
that wouldn't do it justice. It's
this one has a 90% screen to body ratio, and I think you know this for mobile phones. Basically, the edge on the side is quite small, and this gets thinner and thinner also in notebooks.
The bezel,
it's the bezel indeed, yeah. It's ultra lightweight, 1.32 kilograms, aluminium, magnesium. It's not AI, it's
aluminum, I think.
It's, indeed. And on the thinnest point, it's 12 millimeters thick. So we're talking about a really lightweight and thin notebook.
Very portable.
Yeah, indeed. This one comes with 120 Hz OLED, so you see more and more notebooks with OLED displays. Display HDR 600, Thunderbolt 4, Wi-Fi 7, and something what you also see in a lot of more MSI notebooks is fast charging. So this one has a 24-hour battery life. Basically means these CPUs are very power efficient. and they can last up to 24 hours. Of course, not if you're going to play games or something. To be honest, I don't know how it's measured. But yeah, this is probably best case scenario.
And
but
the 24
no doubt,
hours doesn't refer to the charging. It doesn't take 12 hours to charge.
No,
it.
basically fast charging means it can do probably, not sure for this one, but later I have some other notebooks can do 50% in 1 hour.
Yeah,
so that's quite a lot.
Yeah, indeed.
Somebody in chat is asking, I'm curious about the graphics performance and usage time. Intel released more benchmarks, but I believe these notebooks will be released later in the coming weeks, months. So then everybody will get their hands on and they can do some benchmarking.
Exactly. There are a lot of channels that will do, like Jared's Tech and stuff. I think he's quite into notebooks and stuff like that. So they will do way more in-depth. Notebook Check, indeed, is also one. And they do like really detailed real-world tests with, things like battery life, stuff like that. So we have way too many things to cover today. So can't really go into
Alan is asking what GPU selections will the Flip come with. All these Prestige notebooks will not have a discrete graphic, so they all use the integrated graphics. And this is with the Ultra 9 Plus. So it uses the 12 cores, which is the what was the name? B370?
Was it 390?
Oh, B390 indeed, yeah. Oh, here is B370. That's only with 10.
Yeah.
12 is B390.
Yeah, but that's on the Ultra 5.
Ultra 5 even.
Yeah, exactly. So
I say no I anymore.
No.
This Flip also comes with a nano pen and something really nice. You can talk to it. Well, you can talk to everything, but this one is listening, it seems. Because it supports Copilot Plus. You press on the button and it can help you answer things. And yeah, this is it integrates in the chassis. So you see that on the top, and here you
seamlessly, and so you can carry it with you without losing it or having.
I would not call it seamlessly. I mean, it looks like it's magnetic. Yeah, it's probably locked in there, but it looks like it sticks out a bit. And this is at the bottom of the notebook, but probably Peter is right. I mean, if this is the bottom of the notebook,
it looks like they left the space cut out for it, so it's actually it doesn't take up extra space indeed. Because that's the whole thing, right? If you're sliding it in and out of a case, you don't want it to stick out because that's when it's going to get caught maybe and fly away. So
and yes, these Flip notebooks have a touchscreen. That's correct. That's why you can use the pen. Also, cooling. We made a big improvement with a vapor chamber. So as you know about MSI notebooks, cooling is very important for us, and you will later see that also. And this time we improved with a vapor chamber in the notebooks, so you can cool everything down even more.
We know that from graphics cards as well. Like vapor chambers are really impressive when it comes to cooling. Relatively high. TDPs or high wattages very efficiently. So.
And that's the key word here, efficiently, because this also means it does not use sound. And that's why during low loads like video calls or something like that, it's only 18 decibels. That's nothing. And in the full system load, in the setting balance mode, because there are multiple settings, it's less than 26 decibels. And Peter can tell you that I sound like 90 decibels.
No, not just that, but I mean, most homes will have a noise floor higher than 26 decibels. So that means it probably won't even stand out.
Nope. And here you see a little bit of the inside design of the notebook. But in the coming months, not sure when, we will try to get our hands on one. And then I'm not going to say I'm going to open it, because normally I need to watch out with notebooks, because they also need to be put back together, and that not always happens.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Okay, besides the Flip versions, we also have the normal Prestige 14 and 16 AI Plus. And they don't flip well. I mean, if you
don't flip them, don't
flip them.
That will probably void your warranty. I'm not sure, but
they should be called the Prestige 14 No Flip AI Plus.
Backflip.
Indeed. Again, very lightweight, 1.3 kilograms, 11.9. That's of course for the 14-inch model. That's this model. Again, with the vapor chamber, basically the specs are quite similar. This comes with an 81 watt-hour battery.
That's also quite large.
Yeah, Indeed. So, and with that, you can more than 20 hours plus you can use your notebook. You see here the Series 3, Ultra 7, 9, and 5. So probably there will be multiple configurations in the market. So you will probably need to check in your market which one will be available. Here you see the chassis. So this is aluminium, magnesium, an alloy. We show that on the showcase, and here it's very difficult to see. We have the cooling with the vapor chamber and the PCB of the notebook, and they're quite small.
Yeah.
So we already talked about this battery capacity, so 81 watt hours, and fast charging means it is even 50% in 30 minutes.
Half an hour, yeah.
So you can completely recharge your notebook, and that's logical. With 100 watt PD, 81 watt hours, in a half an hour it's 50%, it's 50 watt, and of course you have some efficiency, so probably 43 or something. So quite impressive. So you never have to have a notebook with empty battery life, basically.
Yeah, or else it's really easy to just top up and then continue.
Yeah.
And also, it's interesting to see that the smaller screen size has a longer duration, which is logical somewhat because there's less of a screen size, meaning less power usage by the screen itself, which
tends
to use quite a lot of power as well.
Yeah, besides the GPU and CPU, if the GPU is if a notebook has discrete graphics, the display consumes the most power. That's also with a mobile phone. If you lower your brightness, you will save a lot of battery life.
Indeed, yeah.
GigaRAM is already talking about the new cases, the MEG cases, of MEG case. Later we talk about that.
Stick around, indeed. Yeah. They will be coming later.
Stick around and find out.
Exactly.
All these notebooks also have a bigger touchpad on them, and they have some special features. So here in the left corner you can launch your calculator. Here MSI Center, and then you can also use it to customizable, of course, but you can use it to control videos. You see that here, volume up, brightness, next one. So for web browsing or YouTube fans, this is quite convenient. And this is also a trend in the market. You see bigger and bigger touchpads. I'm personally, I'm not a big fan of it. But depends on the size of the notebook, of course.
Well, not just that, but I mean, you don't always have a mouse with you. Sometimes you just, especially if you're traveling or in the plane or something like that, then you kind of have to rely on the touchpad. And then having this extra bit of functionality on it, I think is quite nice. Yeah. It would be, of course, take a bit of time to get used to because you need to kind of, internalize all the locations and stuff like that. But once you got that, I think it's pretty useful,
yeah. Do you have any inside info about when we can expect any news about the new Claw? Later we talk about Claw.
Yes.
But not really about the new Claw. But we have some new Claws. Confusing, right? Stick around. So let's talk a little bit about the screens. I already told you these have Gorilla Glass, and that's of course for the touch screens, for the flip versions. Yes. They come with OLED screens, display HDR 600. Resolution, of course, differs. This for the 16-inch, so we talk about 2.8K, 16 by 10. VRR support, 100% DCI P3. So you get really natural color representation. Also something what you see in more and more notebooks is the low blue light, what we call in different products, less blue light, and flicker-free. And that, of course, is for your...
basically to reduce eye strain and,
eye fatigue,
Yeah, exactly.
So here we talk about the 14-inch. So the 14-inch, they have the touchscreen. They come with FHD Plus on 16 by 10. Also 100% DCI P3. So nice colors on them.
Yes.
Then we have I'm not sure how to position this. The modern series, they are below the Prestige series.
Yeah, exactly. These are more, I would say, business, like regular business laptops.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And basically the specs are quite similar. But what you see here, for example, these come with an Ultra 9 and not the Ultra X9. So they don't have the high graphics score count. Yeah. The features are quite similar. 90% screen to body ratio, low low weight. They're quite thin. Also a lot of ports, and yeah, I don't have. Let me check the next slide. No, I don't have a photo of that. But on a lot of thin notebooks, you see that I/O ports like USB or HDMI. Yeah, they're left out to make it thin. But on these notebooks, we made sure they're having a dual USB-C and dual USB-A. I don't have a photo of it, but yeah, there is a lot of connectivity, and that's important.
Yeah. The biggest single thing that I'm sometimes missing on thin laptops is the Ethernet, the LAN connector, because that one tends to be quite tall as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I also have that on my MSI notebook, also a Prestige notebook. They left out the LAN connector.
Yes.
And now in the new office, they were quite smart. They left out the LAN, so we only have Wi-Fi.
Yes. Yep.
Fixed it for you.
But it's Wi-Fi 7 though, so.
Yeah, indeed. Hi, Vectom. This notebook also, and I didn't see a sample of this notebook, so it's quite difficult for me to talk about it. But they talk about a velvet touch smudge resistant keyboard. Well, smudge resistant, I understand.
Yes.
But velvet touch.
Yeah, it's just like a somewhat rubberized. If you can say it in different ways, but I think it's like it doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel smooth. It's like it's a tactile, but it feels. It just feels nice, I think. And I have experience with some of these keyboards indeed. And then if it's a little bit rubberized, it kind of, it provides just a slight bit of grip to your fingers. Yeah. That does feel nice. And so I think that's what they mean.
Later we talk about more keyboards, but then without a notebook, right, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about gaming notebooks because we also have
furry rubber coating. Nice, Alan.
Yeah, the furry part is quite interesting.
That's a good. We might use that as a marketing term. Thank you. All right.
Let's copyright it. So we have the Raider 16 Max, and Max is a name you will see on more and more products. So this is the current generation HX, because Intel, they released the Series 3, and that's of course entry level, very efficient, but also good performance. But HX, we talk about 55 watt and higher, so you have even more performance. And this of course is for gaming notebooks. You want to have a powerful CPU, and in this notebook, the Raider, you combine it also with a up to 1590 laptop GPU. Mm-hmm. So this is a new tooling, a new design. I included on the right side some elements. So these are all photos from the booth in CES. And this will also be covered in the media in the coming days. Maybe they already talked about it. I like the back of it, the dragon on it. I think it looks really nice, but this photo doesn't do it justice. Yeah. I saw
in real life these things always look nice. It's very tricky to get these kind of details just right, or on photos. But yeah.
Indeed. So RGB in here. Let me see. Should I talk about specs? Well, not too much.
No. I mean, that kind of detail. Maybe we can get into it later on.
If we have a dedicated live stream, indeed.
Yeah.
So quite interesting. This can do totally 300 watts of total power. No, system power, I should say, not total power. And this basically means, we talked about it in the past, that you can this total power you can mix between the GPU and the CPU.
Yes.
This means you probably know when you're playing a game, either the game is CPU intensive, like Counter-Strike, or it's GPU intensive, like I think
Red Dead Redemption.
Sorry?
Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, indeed.
But indeed, and there's like a pool of power, and basically it can dynamically shift one way or the other depending on what the situation requires. So that's nice.
Yeah,
it's not like a fixed number, and so either you're stuck with certain amount of GPU power or CPU power.
And that doesn't mean your CPU can only go to 125 watt. It can go higher.
Yeah.
But this means that in that case, your GPU will be limited. So it's dynamic.
And the 300 watt is important because it's, as it says there, it's upgraded from, it used to be 240 watts. So actually there's 60 watts more in the pool to go around.
So this means not only a more powerful VRM to support this, but also better cooling. Let's talk about cooling in a bit. You also see in a lot of our products we take care of upgradability because we understand that in the future you want to upgrade the memory or you want to upgrade the SSD. Well, memory now is not a good topic, right? Because of all the prices. But let's hope that will come down in the future. And SSDs, it's the same. It will go into the same direction. But you need to very easy be able to access your memory and your SSD, so you can upgrade it. Here you see the two coolers. So this notebook comes with a triple fan cooler system. The GPU itself uses phase change turbo compound, so it's not like liquid metal, which some notebooks use, because liquid metal will always be in a liquid state. Phase change basically means it's like, how do you say that?
It changes from liquid to solid depending on the temperature.
And the solid one is like a post.
I don't want to say that they use butter, but it's like butter because butter when you heat it up it becomes liquid, and so it's kind of like that. But it's maybe a strange analogy, but it's the first thing I could think about.
Yeah. And this notebook has 5 exhaust cooling outlets, so it can get the heat out.
Yes.
Then we are going to talk about Stealth 16 AI Plus. And actually, I don't think this is a complete marketing name. There were some other letters behind it, but I left them out.
Always,
Yeah, because
this is the series name, right?
Yeah, indeed, because we already have a Stealth 16 AI Plus. This is a new one. Let's say it like that. And the new one means it's based with Series 3. It's a new design. So I include some photos of the design. I think it looks quite
Stealth is always one of the really nice gaming laptops.
And this one comes not only with where do we have it? With a Ultra 9 300 series, but also with up to a 1590. And check out how flat this notebook is, how thin.
But that's the concept of Stealth, right? It's a thin gaming laptop.
Indeed. So, and here you again have an OLED screen, 240 Hz. So this is really a gaming notebook, which you can take to wherever you want to game. RGB keyboard, 90 watt-hour battery. Later we're going to talk about that. And this is something new. This is the inlet for the cooling. So this is the first notebook I see this kind of design. So here the cool air gets sucked in. And actually, we in our team we had a discussion before. What makes a notebook and a laptop a laptop? Somebody in the past told me. You see Peter already laughing.
I mean, the word laptop kind of gives it away a bit.
Yeah, but some people are fighting me and say, yeah, that's bullshit. Anyway, somebody told me laptop you can put on your lap so you don't burn your knees. And a notebook you cannot put in your lap because it also has an exhaust, a hot exhaust, hot air on the bottom. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, not just that, but also, I mean, if you put something that sucks air in through the bottom on your lap or on whatever surface,
the air
exactly, it's not going to help with cooling. So
anyway, so this one intake on the bottom, and it with the same system power. It provides up to 20% better cooling. So also here you see the notebook is really thin. We already talked about it. Here you see it has a hot exhaust on the bottom towards the back, in the middle, and also in front of your screen. And that's what you see here. A lot of notebooks have that. So tripart they call it. Quite interesting. Of course, this one comes with dual RAM, dual SSDs. So a lot of notebooks you can only fit one SSD, so here you can fit 2. Dual Thunderbolt 4, basically Type-C, USB 4 with Thunderbolt 4 support. Wi-Fi 7, I don't know the LAN, probably 2.5 gig or 1 gig, I'm not really sure. And 90 watt-hour, so that's really a big battery.
And also fast charging, because 50% in just 30 minutes, again, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, and it's the Black Death Bailey. Did you guys already talk about the new Titan models? No, because we don't have any new Titan models. We have Titan on the booth of CES, but it's the current model.
Yes.
I always want to say the old model, but of course that's not true.
In this case.
But indeed, Strange SFAM, he's talking about the new Crosshair. Let's wait a few seconds.
Yeah.
Hey!
There you go.
Yeah. So another gaming notebook, and so we have Raider, we have Stealth, and then Crosshair 16 Max, 16 inch. This one comes with a HX CPU, so it's 55 watt CPU. And this one, Raider will have a 5090. This one will have up to a 5070. So it's a little bit different category. Also new tooling for this notebook. You see that here. So big touchpad, some logos here. Yeah. It's not as thin as the Stealth notebook.
No.
Yeah, indeed. But also with an OLED screen. So you see more and more notebooks with an OLED screen.
Yep. Well, it's really nice.
Yeah, so here are some new highlights of the design of the notebook. And this one can go up to 200 watt. So, which means 115 watt for the GPU and 85 for the CPU. And that's not a big problem because first one where we talked about 300 watt was a 5090. This is a 5070 or up to a 5070. So we talk about different TDPs. And in the previous Crosshair notebook, it was only 170 watt. So this is an upgrade in the new model to 200 watt. So it's quite a big step.
Indeed.
Yeah, cooling here as well. 2 fans, 5 heat pipes, quad exhaust, as you say, and again the phase change thermal compound between the cooling and the CPU and GPU. Also a new tooling. When I say tooling, it's like a new design, like a new chassis, right? New tooling for the Cyborg 15 Max. Yeah, looks quite playful. And here we talk about a very affordable gaming notebook. Also with up to a 5070. And here we talk about the Intel 200 series. So I think that's 25 watt. I'm not really a notebook expert. And if I look at the screen, it's 1920 by 1080. So basically 1080p screen. IPS, so you don't get an OLED screen. And I was looking for the refresh frequency. Oh, 144. Yeah. So the other ones we talked about 240. Here we have 144. So you basically you get what you pay for.
Still, yeah, but still really respectable.
Yeah. Somebody on YouTube with a difficult name. Any news about new monitors? Later we talk about it.
Yeah. I
don't know about
it as
models.
well. Yeah. Multiple people asking about it. But yeah, those will come later in the stream. We started with notebooks, so...
Vectom is also asking about monitors.
Yes.
I think Mankit is going to talk about the MEG-X, but I saw his slides, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, later we'll talk about it, Vectom. Yeah, and here, so basically, this is the back, what we call the A side. That's the A side, and this is the B and the C side, so basically keyboard and the screen, some technical terms. But yeah. Looks like a quite nice notebook.
Indeed.
Then Claw. People already ask about new claws. I said, yeah, we have seen new claws, but not really. Here you see this claw we already released. These two on the side we released. And these two are new. And the only new thing is the color.
Yes.
So we have a Claw 8 AI Glacier Blue edition. And we have the Void Purple edition.
So some new
I
colors
I don't know any production plan of these. So, it says here. So, not final design.
Yeah. So that means it could still change depending on...
Yeah, and that's also what CES is for, to get customer feedback. They show things to customers, and if a lot of customers say, hey, that's a nice color, or I don't like this, they will change production.
I just have one thought there. We hear a lot of that.
Yeah. OG Claw 8 AI Plus color is the best opinion. More mature and cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people have a lot of opinions. I mean, it's the same thing with... I saw some people in the chat earlier saying, why do you put screens on everything? It's a trend. But we also have a lot of products that don't have screens on everything. So, I mean, you have a choice.
Indeed. Okay, Peter, that's about notebooks.
Yeah. So let's dive right into gaming gear. So you can go to to the next slide quite quickly. So we have two new mice on display. When I say new, I mean they were also on display during Computex, I believe, last year already. But some of these products take a little while to develop. So we have the Versa 300 wireless 8K.
I think this is not that far away, right? Because you have some samples.
These ones, indeed, indeed. These should be. But again, like I'm hesitant to commit to any date because it can change. Real life happens. And Versa 500 wireless 8K. So if you go to the next slide, the Versa 300 8K, basically it's based on the current version of the Versa 300, which is a quite popular mouse and very well selling. Same DNA, but it has an 8K polling rate. It has the tri-mode connectivity, as we say, so 2.4 gigahertz, Bluetooth, and wired connectivity, of course. But other than that, it's basically the same as the existing Versa 300. The Versa 500, however, let me put my notes to the side there, is a newer design. So that thing is a completely new shape and also uses a Pixart PAW 3950 sensor, so that's also new. Also the 8K polling rate, of course, as it's mentioned in the name. It also has a magnetic mouse wheel, as it mentions there. That might sound a bit weird, but that basically means it uses a Hall effect switch, probably.
So if you have like iron arm or hand, it's like...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shouldn't do that. No, just but indeed. So magnetic mouse wheel might sound a bit weird, but yeah, it's a Hall effect is in there. And then 2.4 gigahertz connectivity, Bluetooth, and wired as well. So quite nice, good all-round mouse. Then going on to the next product. Yeah, we have a new keyboard. So these are the gratuitous booth shots. So I borrowed one from Tweaktown. They had a really nice one with the RGB showing through it. And then at the bottom there's one with the RGB off.
I think this is, you really need to see the real product, right?
Yeah. When I first saw it, this is one of those products as well where if you don't get the pictures quite right, in some pictures it looks a bit weird, like an acquired taste, but in other pictures it looks so freaking glorious. But that's down to the keycaps as well. But this is the Strike 700 wireless 8K HE. If you go to the next slide, we have a bit more detail. The HE stands for Hall effect, so it uses Hall effect magnetic switches. It's a 65% layout with 68 keys, CNC machined aluminum case. It has a carry strap on the side because it's quite small, so you can carry it around. 5 layers of sound dampening there, which is great for isolating the switch sound. PBT keycaps, rapid trigger, so part of the Hall effect, basically. Hot swappable switches even, so that's also quite nice.
Hot
extremely
swappable?
Yes.
Isn't that always the case?
No, switches are not always hot swappable.
Why not?
I would suggest that you try it on some of your keyboards and you'll find out why.
No, I mean, hot swappable is a term for like storage, which basically means you take them out when the storage is running and you put them back in or another one back in and it gets recognized.
Yes, but a lot of keyboards have fixed or soldered switches. So basically that means if you try to remove one and you're successful in it, you've destroyed your keyboard.
Yeah,
basically.
but that means they're not swappable.
No, indeed. So these are swappable.
Hot means
and this one you
on.
can even you can do that if it's on. Don't recommend it, but you could.
Okay,
yeah.
hot swappable.
Actually, I think we've done that on stream in some of the previous keyboards as well. So, yeah, hot swappable switches, extremely low latency with also their 8K hertz polling. Connectivity wise, 2.4 gigahertz Bluetooth and wired connectivity, a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, as far as I'm told. So that's quite big, and lots of RGB. So as you can see, especially at the front, they call it the light box. But yeah, it's really nice RGB effect there as well. Yeah, this thing is should be coming at some point as well. One small detail as well: the rapid trigger is the accuracy of it is down to 0.005 millimeters, which is just a bit more than most other rapid trigger switches and keyboards on the market today. So yeah, actually very, very accurate in terms of adjustability there.
I see,
also,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. We hope to have this product as well. I don't know how far out this one is. I mean, also this one they've been working on it for a little bit, but I hope when it's more or less final that we'll be able to get one in the studio and take a closer look and maybe even take it apart for you so we can actually see what makes it tick. But yeah,
I see in the chat Pedro is waiting for the Titan presentation. As Pedro, as far as I know, we don't have a new Titan on the booth. Or I'm not informed. At least I don't have any information about it. I saw some photos, but I assumed it was the current Titan. So no, we don't have anything about Titan today. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, moving on. So headsets. So this is the Maestro 500 wireless headset, which should be upcoming soon as well. Yeah, it does. It's a premium wireless headset with active noise cancellation, or ANC, also featuring a transparency mode, which is handy if you also have sometimes people that you want to listen to while you are still wearing your headset. 40mm drivers, fixed design flip up microphone. So that means a lot of our headsets feature the removable microphones, which is also nice. But this one, it's basically it flips up and then into the ear cup. And once you do flip it up, it's basically also the mute function. So again, that's a pretty nice thing. Connectivity-wise, 2.4 gigahertz Bluetooth and wired with a Type-C connector. And also, I think I see an audio jack there at the left side bottom there as well. So not 100% sure. I don't know all the details yet, but I think that does look like it should support 3.5 millimeter jack. So regular audio jack usage. And I'm told, as far as I could hear, and it says there on the slide as well, up to 100 hours of battery life. Now that's probably with using Bluetooth functionality, because that's a bit more efficient, energy efficient. But pretty nice, promising headset. I'm quite excited about it.
That's a long movie.
Yeah. 100 hours is very, very long.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, with the current weather,
I'm colorblind.
Yeah, so the Forge GK600 TKL wireless series. So as you can see there, I mean, we've had them for quite a while. Started with Sky at the beginning of this. Was it this? No, sorry, last year indeed. I think I remember 2025. And so the Sky, the blue one at the top right, that was the first one indeed, and then we got the violet version, then Mars at the bottom left, and then the topography white and blue versions, and so we started we kept adding versions. It's a very popular concept, compact TKL design, linear mechanical switches, hot swappable as well, PBT keycaps, sound dampening layers to isolate the switch sound. Connectivity wise also there you have 2.4 gigahertz, you have Bluetooth, and you have wired connectivity, and a small integrated display, and all of that for a pretty damn good price.
Do we have any in the office?
Yeah. Mike is using it.
That's why I'm not testing them.
He's one of the big keyboard nerd aficionados. So
he likes them.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah.
So when do I get my sample?
I don't know. You might have to fire him. I don't know.
Okay. Without having to.
Sadly, we only have one sample, because when we got the sample, it turned out that this keyboard was so successful that they couldn't spare any additional samples for us. I know, they are glorious. But yeah, if you go to the next slide, I just talked about all of these features. So the one after that even. Yeah, so there's two relatively new designs. The one at the bottom there, the MLG edition, has been around for, I believe, a couple of months. But there's also a new one on display at CES there, which is the top right one. And it doesn't really have a name yet. So I don't know what to call it. That's why I just
Let us know
called
in the
it
chat.
New Edition. I don't know. It's but yeah, they're trying a lot of new things on the same basis, because like as a basis, this keyboard is very successful, and a lot of people seem to love it. So yeah, just a lot of different variations.
Wrist rest?
No, it doesn't come with the wrist rest.
Okay.
No, it's just a keyboard. It's very compact, and so adding a wrist rest would kind of defeat the purpose of a compact keyboard as well.
Okay, I see there is also a display on it. Okay.
Yeah, a small display, and basically you get battery life on it, and you can change settings on it, like lighting settings and stuff like that. So it's quite versatile. It's quite nice. Okay, then going to storage, SSDs. So we have the Spatium M571 DLP. So a bit of a long name, but basically, this product uses Phison's latest E28 controller, which is Gen 5, PCIe Gen 5, but it's much more energy efficient than the first generation, first batch of Gen 5 SSDs, which, if you remember, they all required pretty damn big looking heat sinks to reach high speeds. This one doesn't. That's not to say that it requires no heatsink, but at least it doesn't require a huge big heatsink. It still reaches speeds of up to 14,000 megabit per second read and 11,000 megabit per second write. So that's friggin' fast. And it also has, that's the DLP part, additional data loss protection. More details about that. It's a bit technical, but more details about that hopefully in a future live stream once we get a sample in as well. But they should be available at some point in the capacities of 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and 4 terabyte.
Fio Mayo is asking, will there be a surprise? Will I show some new product live? Well, no, because
there is actually a surprise. There was a surprise there for us, which will be coming up, which I didn't know about until I saw
we have
pictures
some negative
from the booth.
news in the end. That's also a surprise for you. But because we're working from home, because we had some new products in the office. But yeah, we're working from home, so we cannot show them.
Yeah,
it's an improvised live stream.
Yes,
but we're still here.
Yeah, exactly. You still get us, so there's that.
You still get us.
Sorry for that. Anyway, okay. Also on the SSD front, this is not really a new product, but still we wanted to highlight it because not everybody knows about it. The Data Mag series, which is a portable SSD. It's a magnetic design, tough aluminum casing, lightweight, speeds of up to 4,000 megabytes per second read and 3,600 megabytes per second write. It's great for high resolution recording on a professional DSLR system. For example, we also use it for some of our product videos. It's great for that. Or things like iPhone ProRes recording, where the file sizes tend to get really big really fast. So yeah, basically just plug and play, and it's awesome for that. These things are also really popular. Available also there in 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and 4 terabyte capacities.
Yeah, and a slow one, the 20 Gbps.
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but yes, the one also launched, I think it's at the start of 2025, so last year. So indeed, we first had the 20 Gbps version, and now it's also the 40 Gbps, so the faster one.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, next one. So networking is up next. We also introduced the Romi BE Pro mesh system. There was already the one on the right, which was the Romi BE Lite. And as the name kind of says, Lite versus Pro, there is a bit of difference there. So the Romi BE Pro is a tri-band versus the Lite, which was a dual band. And so that enables it to go up to 11 gigabit per second instead of the Lite, which had 5 gigabit per second. Both still really fast. And also another difference that we can point to is that the ports on the device itself. So the Pro has 4 2.5 gigabit per second ports, 2.5 gigabit per second. And the Lite only had 2.5 gigabit per second and 2 gigabit per second ports. So,
I'm still at Wi-Fi 6 here, so I think I need to upgrade.
Yeah, it's going really fast, these Wi-Fi generations indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7 looks like it's going to hang around for a bit longer than 6 and 6E. But indeed, so a new addition to our mesh system. And then, yeah, this was the surprise for me at least, which was a new gaming router, tri-band gaming router, the Radix BE 9400 Wi-Fi 7. I was only familiar with our previous version, which was the AXE 6600 gaming router, which we also launched, what was it, 1.5 years ago or something like that, which was quite fast, but that was Wi-Fi 6, so this is Wi-Fi 7. And owing to it being Wi-Fi 7, it's also faster, so it can support up to 9.4 gigabit per second versus the other one, the AXE 6600, only supported 6.6 gigabit per second.
So Peter, I think yes. Because Alan is asking, does the Pro have a VoIP on board? We don't know.
Not sure indeed.
So I think we need to arrange a wireless router, Wi-Fi 7 live stream.
Yeah. At some point, we definitely will. But I mean, these routers. I mean, on the face of it, they are really simple machines because if you're an end user and you connect them, it's usually for most people it's plug and play. If you're a bit more advanced, you want to configure some things, but you have no idea how much work goes into this in the back end, especially with the configuration tools and stuff like that. So it's a long lead time to get these things on the market. Yeah, exactly.
And also with validation. Certification in different markets, they have different rules.
Indeed. So there's usually a specific, because especially the EU, if you're in the EU, that's really specific.
That's why they are probably first available in US, and EU always takes longer. Exactly, I don't know about APAC, Asia.
Yeah, I think APAC follows mostly the US rules as well, but anyway, so basically there will be a special EU version, which I don't know if you want to call it that, but it's a bit nerfed, let's say, because it needs to follow way more stricter guidelines and stuff like that, which means you can't use certain bands in the spectrum and stuff like that.
You don't get cancer when you look at it. Something like that.
Hopefully you don't do that anyway. But anyway, So also a new gaming router there. Like I said, we didn't even know about this until I saw the pictures on the booth. This was a surprise for me as well. Not sure what the plan is in terms of when they expect it to come out or anything like that. But we'll find more about it as soon as possible.
Yeah, the difficulty, I was just because Alan was talking about VoIP in the chat in Australia. It's difficult to show this because. You cannot. I mean, it's very difficult to show performance in the office. We have our own Wi-Fi network. Show the interface. It's. But we need to think about it, Peter. Get some samples.
With Wi-Fi testing, it's not just the location that matters. It's even what activity is going on and how much people are using devices. And if somebody has a microwave somewhere in between where you're testing, that's going to kill the signal. It's all things like that really affect those.
We will find a way. Hey, lightning.
Exactly. Yeah. Then on to the main course, lightning. I
saw a lot of positive reactions about this.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my my daughter just walked in.
Maybe she can talk about lightning.
No. She probably doesn't. I don't think she likes lightning. She's 3 years old. So, but anyway, lightning. So there's two types of lightning that we are launching. So there's lightning just off the cuff, basically. It's based on a 5090 graphics card, and there's lightning Z and lightning X. And the top model is Lightning Z, and the other one is Lightning X. There's always these are limited editions. So basically, you'll see that I think in the next slide. I have some close-up shots there. So on the top left, you can see that there's a limited edition. There's actually there's a counter basically of showing you which of the limited edition you have. So there's 1,300 pieces produced in total. And as you can see,
I love the design.
Yeah, it's really premium. It's somewhat small compared to previous generation Lightnings, but on the whole, it's a really impressive card. And the reason why it's a bit smaller is because it uses water cooling. And as you can see, even the everything about the Lightning is really custom designed and very premium, even the packaging. So as you can see, it doesn't open. It's not like a normal graphics card box. It's really a very special design there.
We should make smoke when you open it. I know that's not positive for lightning.
I don't know if they indeed might trigger some smoke alarms. I'm not sure.
but this asks for smoke and light.
Maybe a Tesla coil that starts whirring up.
I still remember the first Lightning. I was at CeBIT where we launched it.
Yeah.
I think it was the 260. And I'm not allowed to tell it. Some competitors, they came watching.
Of course,
I'm not going to name any names.
Yeah, just short introduction for people who don't know the Lightning as a concept. But basically, it's targeted at our extreme overclocking segment, and the idea was born back in 2008 during some of the overclocking events that were happening
in Germany.
back then.
Yep.
Yeah, and so a lot of those overclockers enthusiasts, they were, giving suggestions like how we could improve our card to make it even more suitable for overclocking, because there weren't really a
I
card
think
that was
in
specifically
Munich
built for
we
that.
had a MSI overclocking competition, and there we were handing out some lightnings under NDA to some maybe you know them, Hypro 5, the legendary Greek overclocker. He got one, and some other people got one. You know, we were collecting feedback, and Lightning was to basically unlock everything. And this is for LN2. This is for so
not everybody might know what
overclocking.
LN2 is. It's basically liquid nitrogen. So it's really like extreme cold and basically because if you are doing extreme overclocking, that means you're using a lot more power, which means it will produce a lot more heat, and that's basically so you need extreme cooling.
With Lightning, I mean, those overclockers, they don't need the cooling because they will put their tube on it and they pour liquid nitrogen in.
Yep.
But in the end, we still need to be able to sell this to consumers. So and then you need a good cooling. And that's
not just that. I mean, as you can see there, I mean, a lot of those concepts, they were based on, a large part of it is the PCB, but also the cooling. And basically the idea and the concept kind of evolved as time went by, because overclocking, there used to be a lot more headroom to gain as well. But NVIDIA also did a great job with things like GPU boost and stuff like that your card will automatically try to find, if there is any headroom there, it will try to use it, and so it will dynamically boost clock speeds and stuff like that.
This is also where famous coolers like Twin Frozzer came from. It's all born from Lightning.
Yeah, so that's indeed what I was going into, is basically each generation of Lightning pioneered features or technologies that were adopted into following generations after that. So as you say, things like Twin Frozzer, but a lot of different technologies, and some are on the PCB, some were cooling, some were RGB, screens and stuff like that. So but basically Lightning is the series that pioneers a lot of things on different areas. But the main purpose of Lightning is, and then you can go to the next slide, is to break world records. And that's exactly what this one has done already in the hands of the skilled overclockers that we gave it to.
So as you can see, and this is 5090 Lightning, the new one.
Yes, yeah. Wow. And so basically, what these overclockers always try to chase with their extreme overclocking is, how to break world records on the overclocking scene, and with different overclocking tools. That's always like a race. It's like, I don't know, in racing you have Formula One or whatever, but the most extreme ones, and you want to have the highest score. That's what it's all about. It's not just about raw speed, it's also about stability, because it does need to complete the benchmark and not crash. So there's a lot that goes into it. And how does it achieve that? Well, we have some slides following that. So there's a custom PCB for extreme overclocking. That means that it's really designed for extreme overclocking. There are extra connectors on there for more detailed voltage monitoring. It is, it is. And so you have 40 phases and that's power phases. Normal cards have way less. I think maybe even half of that. Also a dual. They used to be, I still want to call them 12 volt high power, but they're called different now. But the 16-pin power connectors, there's 2 of them on here. So that's crazy. And standard, if you buy it in the box, it's already rated. You can switch it. There's an OC BIOS, and that's actually the low setting of 800 watts max. And then there's the extreme BIOS, exactly, for 1,000 watts. So I mean that's just bonkers. But it gets better. We'll show you that in a minute. But that's serious stuff there.
And the keychain, you need to unlock the BIOS switch?
Well, it's basically the switch that you see on the right is kind of receded into the card, so it's kind of like hidden. So you do need something there to like actually stick it in to switch between the 2 modes. Yeah, as far as I've seen, I've not been lucky enough to have one of these in my hands yet. I am praying to the HQ gods to send one to us. But I don't know. I mean, again, it's limited edition and it's crazy expensive. So we'll see. We'll see if that's possible.
He would finally play Crysis.
I don't know, man. I mean, crisis is a big ask,
Yeah.
but yeah. But yeah, other things like that. Here's some more details, and maybe we'll do a full live stream about this because it's a crazy product. It's like I don't want to say it's not once in a lifetime, but it's not even once in a generation because not every generation has one.
You talk to our office management to get liquid nitrogen in.
Yeah, I think we need to get like a generator to make sure that lights don't go out in the premises as well. If I'm going to do this, but yeah. So 3-ounce copper for stable overclocks, basically. So it's way thicker layers of copper embedded in the PCB. Lightning chokes, so custom chokes, MOSFETs, and other components for cleaner voltage delivery. Because that's the thing you need. If you're going up and up and up, every little variation matters. Otherwise, you might get unstable results or stuff like that, or it might crash. So, and also that's the thing on the back as well. There's voltage V checkpoints for easy voltage tuning. So normally you can check voltage, in tools like Afterburner. It's great, but software monitoring, as it's called, can sometimes, especially under extreme stress and extreme conditions, is not always the most accurate, and also there's always a bit of latency there. So with these V checkpoints, it's like instant. They physically plug in some devices, and so they have way more fine-grained control over the voltage that way. Going to the next slide. That's
Peter, Alan wants to have a bet with you. Alan JT, he says 5K in stores. Do you know anything about price?
No, I have no idea. And honestly, with this kind of product, really you shouldn't be asking about pricing. No. It always matters, but really, Lightning is not about being cost effective.
No.
We have all of our other products basically are more about that. Lightning is more about, look, if you really want the absolute best and like the most crazy innovation, and really money is not an object, that's when you look at Lightning. Yeah, cooling as an art. So really, they've done a lot of work on trying to improve the cooling even more and building on previous. We have a lot of experience, a lot of expertise in this area with all our different graphics card series. Maybe you can already go because the next slides are basically cover these points. So they created a new pump system. Which increased a lot of liquid flow and pressure and stuff like that. So basically just enhanced cooling. They designed a completely new fan for this as well. And I mean, we are quite well known for our custom fan design. So you can be sure that this one is another really nice one. Perhaps this one could even be on the next generation cards when they arrive. Because again, like they made some new adjustments that made things even better.
The fine print says compared the pump to Supreme Liquid.
I don't know actually. Could be. I think it's probably better because Supreme Liquid it's
is better.
pretty
so it's
good.
Compared. So the 71% up is compared to. Supreme
sorry.
Liquid.
I didn't even see. Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, these fans, they are on the radiator, so they're not on the actual card. I'm used to the fans being on the card because that's usually how it went. These are on the radiator. Go to the next slide. There's a full cover cold plate. So normally what they call the cold plate or the water block, it will cover the GPU and the VRAM in recent times, but the MOSFETs usually were not directly covered. MOSFETs are part of the VRM or the power delivery system. Everything here is covered, and that means everything gets cooled quite efficiently. Speaking about the radiator as well, there you go. They even made a completely new radiator fin design, and they patented it even. So that's how you know it's custom. It's not something off the shelf. So they spent a whole lot of work on this, and it's basically to get as efficient of a cooling system as possible. And they created a fully carbon fiber backplate there. So that's also pretty damn cool. Again, I really hope we get one. And when I said it gets even crazier because we were talking before about 1,000 watt of a power limit on this thing. Actually, when providing it to these extreme overclockers and they do all the world record stuff there, 1,000 watts isn't even enough. So what they did, and this is again, I'm not even sure this is legal, but probably is because I think they worked with NVIDIA on this. But yeah, the actual power limit is 2,500 watts. 2,500 watts.
Means you need 2 power supplies.
At least, yes. And yeah, I mean, we're not going to tell you exactly how. We don't even know the details about how they actually even get this kind of peak power usage. Yeah, but I mean, because you have 2 physical, 16-pin power connectors that each of them is technically rated for 600 watts. So the official limitation would be 1,200 watts. But yeah, 2,500 watts. That's just crazy. So yeah, but this card is crazy. That's the whole concept of this card. Otherwise, you can't break records. Yeah, but then you can't really break records without being bonkers like this. Anyway, yeah, more details about that later. And here's a nice shot to end with it, which also shows the nice screen on it, which the card actually has a screen on that. I don't think I even mentioned that at the start, but yeah, there's a screen on that shows the statistics of the card, all the metrics.
And I had a question in the chat. Does it come with a PCI Express Gen 5?
Oh yeah, actually we didn't even mention that, but yes, it comes with. But it comes with a vertical mount, because you do want to mount this card vertically if you get it.
Yeah, riser cable, yeah.
Yes, but so you want to, in this picture, it is mounted vertically. Otherwise, the screen is pointing downwards, so you can't really see it. So mounting it vertically is, I think, a must on this card. But that's included in the package when you buy this card, and indeed a Gen 5 riser cable. Because obviously, I mean, it's Lightning. We're not gonna give you a Gen 4 riser cable with that. That would be, that's just not right. So no, it comes with a Gen 5 riser cable, obviously. Yes. But yeah, it's crazy, and I really we're asking HQ and begging them to get one because I'd love a live stream with this beast.
Can you already announce when this will be available?
No such details, because honestly they kept it so under wraps that we, a lot of the information we also just got what was it, Monday and yesterday, so it started dripping in for us as well. So yeah.
Okay, Peter, can you do the giveaway? I already picked.
Oh God! Oh, not again, Eric.
Nobody can see it. Nobody can see it.
Stand up! Stand up!
No. Nobody.
I think Eric might have just spilled some drink.
A little bit.
Okay. All right. Let me log in. I
already with the loyalty bonus. I already picked a new winner.
Oh, there you go.
It's
okay.
It's my eyes. I should put a contact lens in. The
Go
name
on.
is in Roman letters. It's called 4.
In Roman letters.
Or
so
IV.
it's IV.
Yeah, IV.
Okay. Well, congratulations, IV.
Yeah.
You win a copy of Anno 117 Pax Romana. It's a really nice game.
You can still win this game. You can go to YouTube or Twitch and click on the Gleam link.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes, that's it for me, I think.
Yeah, that's it for you. I'm going to check if Michiel is already available.
Catch you on the next one. Have fun with
Peter.
With Mike. Bye-bye.
So let's wait. Hey, Mike. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
First of all, Happy New Year to all our viewers.
Yeah. Let me
Eric,
go back to the chat.
Did you just pee yourself?
Almost. That can still happen. Yeah, it's typical in me. I already destroyed several keyboards with drinks on it, and sometimes
I'm glad you're at home then and not at the office.
Yeah, true that, indeed. I need to watch out. So, Mike, you're here to talk about customization, which means on motherboards, liquid coolers, cases, and
mostly a lot of different components.
Yeah, indeed. And this is already one of the cases Peter showed with lightning in, but you also have another one, right?
Yeah, so there actually you see the same case, which is the MEG Maestro 900R. More about that later. But it's a different build in it. So I basically split it up in our different segments. So we're going to start with our MEG segment. So that's our enthusiast gaming segment. And in this lovely build, you see a bit of resemblance of the previous build with the Lightning. But you can also see there is a different cooler in there, and that's a very new cooler, the MEG Core Liquid E15360. There is only a 5080 Supreme in this one, so no 5090 Lightning, only 5080 Supreme.
Yeah.
And then a power supply that you may already know, the MEG AI 1600T PCIe 5.
But we don't see the power supply, right?
No, it's hidden in this case, but it's an existing model. It's already on the market, but we do have some more new power supplies in our other segments. So more about that later as well. And the motherboard in here is the MEG X870E Ace Max motherboard, and that's also launched, but very recently actually. So last month we did a live stream about this. So in case you want to know more about all the different
end of December.
Yeah. X870 and X870E Max Series motherboards.
Or maybe middle of December, I think.
Yeah, let me see. 24, so 14 back should be the 10th of December, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, so our MEG Maestro 900R case, you may already be familiar with it from earlier CES or Computex live streams.
This is a different one, right?
It is slightly different because the ones you've probably seen was even bigger and
was the LR.
Could even house a dual system as well. This is smaller, but still by no means small. It's still a very big case. It can support extended ATX motherboards. It can support up to 14 fans, so that's a lot. You can house up to 4 radiators in there, up to 420 millimeter at the top and the bottom, and up to 360 on the side. So that's, if you would equip all these radiators or fans, then you would have a total of 14 fans in there, specifically in the case, excluding graphics cards or whatever. The motherboard tray you can actually also take out. So if you go to the next slide, Eric, you can properly see how this works. So you can take it out and you can put it in different orientations. So you can decide in what direction basically you want to have your motherboard point towards.
Upside down.
Yeah, you can do it upside down. You can do it sideways to the left, sideways to the right,
Stranger
or
Things
straight
build.
up. Yeah, you have a lot of possibilities there. You also have the option to position your graphics card or cards either horizontally or vertically. If you do it vertically, then you're limited to a single card, of course, because then you will use a riser cable to achieve this. If you want to run multiple cards, which nowadays for gaming is not that useful, but maybe you want to do AI stuff, and then it can be very useful, or rendering workloads. You can, with the horizontal mount, also mount multiple graphics cards in there as well. Peter already talked about a Gen 5 riser cable that comes bundled with the Lightning graphics card. But this case also comes with a PCI Express Gen 5 riser cable in there. So it's completely future-proof as well for current and upcoming graphics cards.
Pescastor is asking, when? I'm already waiting 1 year.
Currently, we're planning to launch this in the second quarter of 2026.
Second quarter, so that's April, May, and June.
Yeah, that's currently planned. So it's not set in stone, but that's what we're aiming for, to launch this in the second quarter of this year.
Okay. Sorry.
Another interesting thing, actually, is because the motherboard tray, it's not only rotatable, but you can also completely take it out, and then you can use it as a test bench. So if you want to do overclocking, or you want to test stuff out, and you don't want to go in and out your case every time, then you can just completely take it out and use it as a test bench.
Mike, a good question from Alan. How the hell, well, you didn't say hell. Anyway, how do you connect the cables to the GPU and the motherboard if you can rotate it?
You cannot rotate it if everything is connected, of course.
No, but I mean, if you put it upside down, I mean, where to leave the I/O cables?
I think you basically route them through the back. I haven't built in this case myself yet, but I believe you route those cables through the back. And,
so probably there is maybe a second print where you have
what I do know in terms of USB, for example, that also in the foot there is like a USB hub. So that's also where you can connect a lot of stuff. But I will try to get my hands on this case that we can also do build with it live, and then we will go into more detail about how everything works with this motherboard tray, with the different orientations, with the different building possibilities. So
I think MEG Vision is not included, right? That's
no.
you need to buy
Of
separately,
course,
but
it
it
can
fits in
fit
this
it.
case.
Yeah.
You see this
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the.
you-
I think you see this over here on the right side. Of in the
Yeah, in
right
certain
description.
preview versions
Yeah.
you can see it because it can, of course, fit it. The Vision does fit in like standard fan or radiator positions, so you can
We
also
don't have
mount
it here on these.
No,
photos.
here you basically see the fan
Yeah.
version. But yeah, you can use it in combination with a Vision, but it doesn't come with a Vision included. So in the box, you'll find the case. You will find the PCI Express Gen 5 riser cable, and you will also have multiple brackets. So by default, it comes with the vertical GPU bracket, but you can also use it with the horizontal one.
Okay.
So this is completely new. The MEG Core Liquid E15360. As the name already says, it is a 360 millimeter radiator. So it comes with, well, 3 fans in technically, but it's like one big fan housing actually. So you can take it off all at once. You can put it on all at once. So those 3 fans are all incorporated in that single 360 millimeter housing. But of course, the star of the show here is the curved OLED screen on top of the CPU block. So this is actually 110 degrees curved. It's a 2K resolution screen, and it's an OLED screen. And as you can already see on the picture, it looks fantastic. So especially in this case, where you of course get a full frontal vision of the motherboard, I think it's very nice.
Wow.
Like this. Yeah, so you can put animations on it. You can also use it for diagnostic information like CPU temperatures, load percentages, etc., etc. Of course, you can fully control that through the MSI Center software. There you can also already find some custom graphics or animations, but you can also customize this yourself. And it also supports EasyCon with the JAF2 header. And that basically means that you only need a single cable to connect this complete cooler. So it will give you the PWM signal for the fans. It will give you the RGB signal also for the fans, and it will give you the USB signal that you need for the screen. So everything is powered by one single cable and one single connector.
This is what we talked about in the past live streams. There are not a lot of motherboards who have this, but we're working
more
on
and more
it.
motherboards do this, and
Yeah.
also on more affordable models. More about this later. We are also introducing this new JAF2 header on there. Another interesting detail is that the fans on this cooler, it has 3 fans, of course, and the middle one spins in the opposite direction of the outer ones.
Otherwise, it will lift off, right?
Yeah, then it flies away out of the
Yeah.
room. No, but this will give you even better airflow, more efficient cooling. So yeah, there's that.
Wow.
Let's head over to one of our new motherboards, because of course we did already do a dedicated live stream about our new X870 and X870E Max series motherboards. But as we already mentioned then, that was not the full lineup just yet.
Nope.
And here is another model within this series, the MEG X870E Unify X Max. And this is, of course, being an MEG motherboard, it's very high end.
This is a very special model because we know memory is so expensive, so we only put 2 DIMMs on it, so you can save money.
Yeah. Yeah, the real reason, of course, why this only has 2 DIMM slots is it is specifically designed for overclocking. And for memory overclocking, you get the best results if you have a 2 DIMM motherboard. You get a clearer memory signal if you have only a single slot per memory channel. And AM5, of course, offers 2 memory channels, so then you will get 2 DIMM slots. That's why this board specifically has 2 DIMM slots. It's also really made for extreme overclocking to set those records in. It also comes with an additional controller where you can, for example, adjust the base clock. You can do a BIOS reset, all those kind of things that are very important when you're doing extreme overclocking. So that's the tuning controller you see on the right of the motherboard here.
Yeah.
So that's a separate thing, just to make that clear, because it almost, how it is positioned on this picture, it almost seems as if it's one with the motherboard, but it's a separate controller that you connect through a header on the motherboard. Before we continue, here you can see what I just explained, the one slot per channel. That gives you the highest memory frequencies.
I think this slide is a little bit...
Yeah, it looks interesting. But at least it can support memory frequencies over 10,000 megatransfers per second. Of course, this is very much dependent on the quality of the memory controller on your CPU as well, on the memory kit you use. But yeah, this is really made for cherry picking every single component and get the highest possible frequencies on your memory. Something that I would also like to announce, because AMD earlier this week also announced a new CPU. Of course, AMD's X3D CPUs are, it's not on the slide yet, but I will explain you, and I will also share a link about this. So AMD's X3D CPUs on AM5 are, of course, extremely popular among gamers, and they they announced a new model, I should say, and that is the Ryzen 7 9850 X3D. And basically, this is like a higher clocked version of the existing 9800 X3D. So instead of a boost clock of 5.2 gigahertz, this model can reach a boost clock of 5.6 gigahertz. And our motherboards, our AM5 motherboards, already have the BIOS updates in place to support this new processor. So I will also share a link in the chat now where you will find more about this announcement. So also, if you already own an MSI AM5 motherboard, you can already, of course, as soon as it comes out, you can already use it with this new CPU. That was it for the AM5 announcement. Then let's head over to another very interesting demo that we're showing on CES this year. And this is actually not on an AMD platform, but this is on an Intel platform. And then we're demonstrating 4 rank CU DIMMs. So 4 rank basically means that you can achieve much bigger memory capacities on a single DIMM. So in this example...
Is it then dual-sided, so you have them on the front and the back of the PCB, or does it have anything to do with it?
I'm not 100% sure if these are also dual-sided, but as you can see already on the front, you see a ton of memory chips.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the same number is also on the back. That's a very good question. I haven't seen these modules myself yet.
So for rank, does it have to be double-sided? It can also be single-sided, probably.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is together with ADATA. So they made these memory modules. The board you see here is a prototype board based on an Intel platform. And the memory modules per module are 128 gigabytes. So you see 2 modules here. So with 2 modules, you see 256 gigabytes of memory.
So with a 2 DIMM board, you don't have to... you still have a lot of memory.
Yeah, so in case you need a lot of memory for rendering or other multitasking stuff that you like to do, you can even do it on a 2 DIMM board now.
Yeah.
Of course, this is still like a demonstration. This is not available just yet, and also with the current, we all know it, the current DDR5 prices, it would also basically cost you a kidney in order to afford
2 kidneys.
Yeah,
and an arm.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Will this also run on 4 DIMMs? Or is it limited to 2 DIMMs?
In this demonstration, it's specifically for 2 DIMM. And there is also a purpose why this demonstration is with 2 DIMM, because you can already, of course, run 256 gigabytes on 4 DIMM. We have actually also demonstrated that in our X870E Max live stream, where we had a 256 gigabyte memory kit from G-Scale existing out of 4 memory modules.
More expensive than a 5090?
Yes, now definitely, but the same will go for this memory kit probably when it comes out, unless it takes very long, and maybe the memory prices have dropped a bit. But by having only 2 DIMMs, you can reach much higher frequencies. So like explained before, when you have a single slot per channel, you can reach higher memory speeds than when you have 2 slots per channel. So where if you would go with a 4 DIMM solution, you would always have to keep the frequencies and timing somewhat modest, where with a 2 DIMM solution, you can go way higher. So for example, for gaming, that usually benefits quite a lot from higher memory frequencies, it would be very beneficial to have only 2 DIMMs rather than 4 DIMMs. And this way you can get the best of both worlds, basically. You can get very high capacity, but also the very high frequencies and the very tight timings. Yeah, so here you see basically an overview of our prototype. This is a monitor connected to this setup. And yeah, 4 rank CU DIMM 256 gigabyte on only 2 memory modules. Yeah, so yeah, my slides here, they altered a bit, I see. But yeah, here you can see it as well. With overclocking, you can get up to like 63% increase of the peak frequency compared to when you would use 4 modules. I see a question in chat, by the way. I'm curious about the price of the motherboard. I don't know yet. I wish I could tell you, but still,
it's a secret development motherboard.
Still uncertain. Yeah. Then let's head over to indeed our MPG segment. So this is the MSI Performance Gaming segment. So basically within our gaming series, this is the middle of the road. But nowadays it's also relatively high end, because usually all the high end features, they trickle down eventually to the MPG series as well. One thing we have on our MPG section at CES 2026 is, well, it is a build, but it's not really a build. It's on a test bench. So Eric, if you go to the next slide, you can see it. It's a demonstration system that we have there with an MPG X870E Carbon Max Wi-Fi motherboard, the GeForce RTX 5080 Supreme OC graphics card, the MPG AI 1600 TS PCIe 5 power supply. That is a completely new power supply. More about that later. And a very new cooler as well, the MPG Core Frozr AP15. And that's not a liquid cooler, but an air cooler.
Okay, with a nice display on it.
With a nice display on it. Let's start with the power supply, the MPG AI 1600 TS PCIe 5. So this is actually the first model within the new series, and by launch it will exist out of 2 models. So here you see the 1600 watt model, but there will also be a 1300 watt model, and that one is of course called the MPG AI 1300 TS PCIe 5. And if you go to the next slide, we can show you a very cool new feature that these power supplies have. And that's the GPU Safeguard feature. It's the GPU Safeguard Plus, actually, on this MPG model. And what GPU Safeguard does is it will alarm you when you, for example, have a faulty connection between your power supply and your GPU. So we know that the 12+4 pin in certain situations can be a bit sensitive. Of course, there's a lot of power going through there because it can go up to 600 watts over a single cable. So it really needs to be seated properly, for example. And if it isn't, you don't want any issues. And in this case, your power supply will alarm you because it does active measuring on this. It is very efficient as well. It is an 80+ titanium certified power supply. So extremely efficient. It also has fan safeguard, and there behind my head. Basically, that means that it will also alarm you in case the fan is malfunctioning. So in case it's stuck or anything else, or if it's not spinning as intended to, then it will also alarm you about it. It's a fully digital power supply, which means it basically also communicates with your system and will also communicate some diagnostic information. Of course, this is also part of the GPU Safeguard, but you can also, for example, do some power measurement with it. You can see how much power your GPU draws, for example.
Can we see that in the next slide?
In a few slides.
Okay.
Because the next slide is specifically about GPU Safeguard. So this is Safeguard Plus, and that is the combination of the buzzer. So you will hear a sound when in case it wants to warn you that something is wrong with your GPU connection. But it will also, through software, give you a pop-up. So it will also warn you there. If we go to the next slide, then we will see what you can see in MSI Center with this power supply. And what's actually
I'm going to put this full screen.
Yeah, go for it. And what is very interesting about this is you can actually measure how many amps each pin within the 12+4 pin PCIe 5 connector draws. So in this case, this power supply has 2 of these connectors, as you can see on the top left. And per pin, you see exactly how much it draws. You may be wondering, hey, why do I only see 6 when it is a 12+4 pin? That is because the other ones are ground pins. So basically, the current comes over
and
those
signal pins.
Yeah, the signal pins are the 4. Yeah, are those 4 smaller ones. Then you have ground pins, and then you have the current pins.
Yeah.
And here you can also see, for example, how efficient your power supply is running, how much power you're drawing, how much you can see some long-term statistics as well, how much power your system has been drawing on average, all those kind of things, average efficiency. So if you're a number nerd, then this is a very cool power supply, I think.
I like it.
Yeah, I also am a big fan of
Yeah.
of graphs with.
I
with
would waste too much time just looking at the stats. Oh, what is it doing now?
Yeah. um, yeah, if you can go to the normal mode again, so then we don't block any details in the next slides. So as mentioned, and as you could already see on the MPG build, we are also displaying new air coolers at CES 2026. And it's actually not only the one that you saw on the build, which is a AP15, but we also have the AP70. Let's start off with the AP15. And it has a display on top, but it's not an actual display. It's more like a dashboard.
That's the left one.
That's the left one. So if you go to the next slide, you can see how it looks from the top. So this is not an LCD display. This is more like a dashboard kind of thing. So it has set information on there. Yeah, it shows numbers.
Fixed info.
So for example, your CPU temperature, you can also see your CPU load, but you can also adjust certain things. So for example, depending on where you are, you want to use either degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. Of course, you can switch between those. It can also show you which day of the week it is, all those kind of things. But it's not something that, for example, you can put your own pictures on or videos on. That is not supported on the AP15. The AP15 itself, it is optimized for AMD X3D CPUs, so it should give you the best cooling performance with those.
Bullshit.
No, because actually it makes quite a bit of difference what kind of CPU you're using.
The air cooler X3D?
Yeah. You can. This is a very capable air. Go to the next slide, because this is not an entry-level air cooler. These are big air coolers. Yeah, it's also.
I want to say otherwise. Fix a sample and we prove it.
Eventually, when this comes out, we will definitely fix a sample and we will run it and we'll demonstrate it. But this is a dual tower cooler, so basically it means you have two separate towers with aluminum fins in there, and through those fins you will find a total of 6 heat pipes, and those are all 6mm thick as well. So those are copper heat pipes. The dual tower design also gives it dual fan, because one fan is positioned on one side of the cooler, on the outside basically, and the other one is positioned in the middle. Then, if we head over to the MPG Core Frozr AP17.
No. I'm still enjoying this slide. So, you know, it's quite interesting because, you say this can cool the.
This one screws with your brain, right? You talked about it earlier about the orientation.
Yeah.
Very important to mention as well, because I can see where people would get confused when they look at these images. But just to be clear, the screen, so the display on this is located on the top of the cooler, not on the side.
Here.
Yeah.
This is
so when you position it on your CPU, then so that's the bottom, the very top. That's where the display will be. It's not on the side.
Yeah.
So it is also intended for cases where you have a tempered glass side panel, and then it is of course aimed towards the tempered glass side panel, so you can look at the screen.
Yeah, Mike. So a few things I want to discuss, or maybe we need to leave this for a live stream and find out ourselves. So first of all, I see here RAM. So it is on top of the RAM. Then I always panic, mechanical compatibility issues. So we need to figure that out, how much clear space there is. And also, you say it's for the X3D.
Actually, because of the bend that you see in the heat pipes, it doesn't stick out on both sides. So on one side, there is a bend inwards. That's for one of the towers. And there it kind of holds back from moving towards the RAM. So that way.
But the RAM is below it, or not?
Yeah, because of course there is quite some height to the cooler as well. It is quite a big cooler.
Yeah, but we need to find out how much clear space there is for RAM, because some memory modules are quite high. But I think it's also interesting because X3D, somebody in chat already said, you need to have liquid cooling for it. I would say as well, but
not necessarily.
You need to prove it's wrong. But then about cost. I mean, this probably is also costly. So, and liquid cooling, I mean, the price dropped a lot in the last year. So, there is somewhere like a break-even point where you can say, okay, for this price, you can also go for a liquid cooler. And maybe it cools a little bit better, but yeah, we need to find this out.
It always depends on your total setup, what makes most sense. If you run a certain case where you don't have space for a very large radiator, then a dual tower air cooler can actually come very close to the performance of, for example, an all-in-one liquid cooler with a smaller radiator.
Yeah.
Also, with an all-in-one liquid cooler, you always have some pump noise to a certain extent. So usually, if you want to have an extremely quiet system, of course, you can get very quiet all-in-one liquid coolers nowadays, especially the higher end ones. They also have very quiet pumps, but they always produce some kind of noise. And air coolers, especially if you, for example, have a tower cooler like this with large fans that you can run at a relatively low speed, then you can actually have a very, very quiet system. Some people also just prefer to have air coolers because they basically outlast everything, whereas
I agree.
for an all-in-one liquid cooler, they also last extremely long, especially because they're closed loop. But if you want even more longevity, then probably an air cooler is also
so. And then AP17 comes with a YouTube channel on it.
If that's what you want to display, then I think theoretically you could. But this one has an actual LCD panel on top of there. So this is, for example, what you also know from certain liquid coolers that we have. So actually, recently we talked about our P series liquid cooler in our live stream that also has an LCD panel on there. Same goes for this cooler. And that also makes it slightly bigger even than the AP15. And also it gives you some more customizability compared to the AP15. So you can put whatever you want on this LCD screen. You can put diagnostic information on there. You can put your own animations, pictures, or whatever you want on there. Also, in terms of cooling, it is a bit of a step up compared to the AP15 because the AP15 comes with 6 heat pipes, whereas the AP17 comes with 8 heat pipes. It's also a dual tower design, but with some more cooling capabilities than the AP15.
I like them.
Yeah. In terms of the heat pipes, it is a similar design like what you would see on the AP15. So again, for one of the towers, they kind of bend away from the RAM, so you don't get mechanical issues there. So that's the MPG Crosshair AP70. By the way, did you see my typo, Eric?
Yeah.
The previous slide.
Yeah.
No, not this one.
Yeah, also here.
MOG. I just noticed myself. Hey, that's not the name.
Yeah.
So it's the MPG Crosshair AP70.
Yeah. The MOG. Okay, then we go to MOG.
Let's go to MAG instead.
Yeah.
So we talked about MEG, our enthusiast segment, MPG, our performance segment, but we also have MAG, our arsenal segment, which is our more entry-level gaming segment, but it's not really entry-level. So still some very capable hardware in this one, but you don't usually get all the bells and whistles that you would find on MPG or MEG products, but we try, of course, to nail the basics to still give a very good experience on those MAG products. We also have a very nice build there, and this is our MAG PC build running DigiMe. More about DigiMe later. I see I'm blocking a lot of text, so I'm going to sit like this. Oh, I also need to lower a bit. My chair cannot go any lower. But it runs an MAG B850M Mortar. Yeah, that's also it. Mortar Max Wi-Fi motherboard, which is a new motherboard. More about that model later as well. An MAG A1000 PLS PCIe 5 power supply. Also a new power supply. More about that later too.
Is this called AA13?
Yeah, so this is another air cooler in this system, the MAG Crosshair AA13. That's an existing model. It's already on the market. It's a bit more basic air cooler. So it's only a single tower design with a single 120 millimeter fan. It does have RGB lighting, but you don't get any screens that you would find in the MPG series that we just talked about. So it's more a basic air cooler. The graphics card on there is a GeForce RTX 5070 12G Gaming Trio OC. And the case you see is the MAG Pano M110R. Let's head over to Digime, because Digime also got a little bit of an upgrade.
We still didn't do a live stream with this, right?
Yeah, so basically what Digime does is you get like a digital avatar that you can use, for example, when you're video chatting, or if you do live streaming, you can also display it there. So instead of showing you the way you look like you see me here, you can also use an avatar instead. And with voice mod, you can also get, with the voice mod integration in Digibee, you can also get a nice matching voice for your avatar. So when you're talking, you don't sound like yourself. It's not your voice, but you get basically a layer over it that your voice sounds very different. Voice mod, we have actually also done a live stream with in the past. Very interesting piece of software.
Yeah.
And you can do a lot of fun stuff with it. So definitely check that out. And that voice mod integration is also within Digibee. Then let's head over to the case, the MAG Pano M110R. So in the Pano series, of course, you get a panoramic display. It has tempered glass on the side, but also the front, so you can look completely through it. And it's a M case, so M110, meaning that it is a micro ATX case. That's also why you would find the Mortar motherboard in here, and not, for example, a Tomahawk, which is a full ATX motherboard. So yeah, neat little case. Then our MAG B850M Mortar Max Wi-Fi motherboard. So this is a new model. You may already be familiar with the existing Mortar Wi-Fi, but the Mortar Max Wi-Fi has two upgrades compared to the existing model. One is that the BIOS chip on there is no longer a 32 megabytes BIOS chip, but it comes with a 64 megabyte BIOS chip. So this is, of course, for future proofing. We all know that AMD usually supports their sockets for a very long time. We've also seen that with AM4. Actually, I believe they're still launching AM4 CPUs, right?
Yeah, small speed bumps.
Yeah, small speed bumps, but they still support
absolutely.
AM4, and also AM5, of course, has been on the market for a few years already now. And who knows how long AMD will continue with it. Because I think for AM4, they also made a plan, and eventually they continued even longer with AM4 than initially expected. So I honestly don't know until when they will support AM5. I'm not even sure if they already know themselves how long they will continue with AM5.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah, but just to be sure that we can still support future CPUs as well without having to sacrifice certain things in the BIOS. We're now including bigger BIOS chips on there, so we can keep on bringing BIOS updates with support for all
64
potentially upcoming CPUs. 64 megabytes.
Yeah.
The other upgrade compared to the non-max version of this motherboard is that it comes with OC Engine. And basically, OC Engine is a dedicated chip on the motherboard. It's an external clock driver that allows you to adjust your base clock. So on AMD B series, you could already overclock using the multiplier because it's not locked, even not on B series with AMD motherboards. But with an external clock gen, with that base clock adjustability, you can get even more detail, so to say, in your overclocks, because you can also do slide overclocks. It's no longer set at a fixed 100, but you can go slightly over or under, whatever fits your over or under clock.
Mike, Jonathan Garcia is complaining. You show too many nice things. He's drooling.
Good. That's what CES is for.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
Then let's head over to the full ATX brother of the Mortar, and that's, of course, the MAG B850 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi 2. And this is a bit confusing because we already had a B850 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi in the market. That one, despite being a Max motherboard, because it was initially launched with B850, it still comes with a 32 megabyte BIOS chip, and it doesn't come with the OC Engine chip, so the external clock gen. This new version with the 2 edition, so version 2 of the Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi, does come with the 64 megabyte BIOS chip and the external clock gen. So a bit like we just saw with the Mortar Max Wi-Fi. Other than
the exemption confirms the rule.
Yeah. Some interesting stuff on these Max motherboards as well is that there is a direct OC jumper on this. This is what you will also already find on the X870 and X870E Max motherboards that we talked about last month. So basically, it comes with a header on the motherboard where you can hardware-based increase or decrease your base clock. It doesn't come with a controller like you would see with the Unify X that we just talked about, but you can connect your own button to it. You can do the quick and dirty way like we usually do with a screwdriver, or just connect the two pins. Or, yeah, that way you can also do it. But this way you can easily do fine adjustments on a hardware level on the motherboard itself in case you're overclocking actively. And this you will find on the mortar that we just talked about, on the Tomahawk that we just talked about, but also on another model that we will talk about in a few minutes. But first, we will talk about another header that you will also find on this board, and that's the JF2 header. We already mentioned this with the MEG Core Liquid E15360 liquid cooler, because that liquid cooler also comes with this connector. And again, that way you can connect it with a single header to the motherboard that will give you PWM signal, RGB signal, and USB signal, in this case for the screen on the CPU block. So Eric, not only on very expensive motherboards anymore, now it's also coming towards the more affordable models. So earlier they only had the JF1 header that combined PWM and RGB, and now also on these B series boards we're including JF2 header that also includes the USB signal in that same header. Then another motherboard that has actually, well, this series has recently been added to our MAG series because we already had gaming and gaming plus models previously, but those were not part of the MAG segment just yet. So we had, even though it was a gaming motherboard, it was outside of the MAG, MPG, MEG segmentation. That's of course a bit confusing. So we now decided to incorporate these motherboards in the MAG segment as well. This new model is the MAG B850 Gaming Plus Max Wi-Fi. Again, it's a Max series motherboard with a 64 megabyte BIOS and the OC engine chip on there as well. It also comes in a nice white design. I see Eric is already too quick. He was already skipping to the power supply. But the nice white design is not just the PCB, it's also the heat sinks, but also the memory slots, the PCI Express slots, the power connectors, the SATA connectors, everything is in white now. So very nice option in case you want to do a full
black
white
chips
build.
here.
Yeah, certain chips, unfortunately, we cannot get in white yet.
Ask the factory. I want white one.
Maybe eventually, because in the beginning we also weren't able to get all those connectors in white. Nowadays we can, so we're turning more and more white on those boards. Back to black. Our new power supply, the MAG A1200 PLS PCIe 5. Like we saw with the MPG series that we just talked about, this is actually also part of a new series, the PLS series. This is the 1200 watts model, but there will also be a 1000 watts model. Unlike the MPG version, the MAG model comes with a single 12 plus 4 pin power connector. So that's the one you need for very recent high-end graphics card. And it's also still very efficient. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see some more specifications. It's not a titanium efficiency power supply, which the MPG is, because this one is a platinum. Still very efficient, but not as efficient as the MPG. It does also support fan safeguard. In case your fan fails or whatever, it will warn you about it. It also has GPU safeguard, not GPU safeguard plus. So if you go to the next slide, Eric, there you have a quick comparison between the MPG models and the MAG models. So the MPG models, being digital power supplies, they can also communicate with the software and give you a software alert through a pop-up, for example. The MAG series doesn't have that connection to the system. So that one will only warn you through a buzzer, whereas the MPG model will give you both the software warning and the buzzer. So that's the difference between GPU Safeguard on the MAG series and GPU Safeguard Plus on the MPG series. Then the next segment, and this is actually somewhat new segment, because we already had the Pro series, but now we have the Pro Max series. And we have a very nice build with that as well. So that's on the next slide, Eric. With the Pro Max X870E-A Wi-Fi motherboard, the Pro Max 1000 PL power supply. It's a bit hidden in here, but more about that later. The Pro Max M15 360 liquid cooler, In this case, there is a GeForce RTX 5070 Ti 16G Ventus 3X PCOC in there. It's quite a mouthful, right?
Yeah.
And it's all built into a Pro Max 030 case. So actually, all these Pro Max.
You missed one thing. I see the display as well.
Yeah, but that's not
Vision.
specifically part of the Pro Max. This is just the Vision in there. And there is more in there. There's, of course, also CPU and memory in there. These are just the highlights. This is all still in prototype. So keep in mind that what you see here, what we're showing this week on CES 2026, is still in development, and that things can still change, and it may
Based
look
on
slightly
feedback
different
from
when it comes out.
customers or from media.
Yeah, that's what we always use these events like CES and Computex for as well, to gather a lot of feedback. So a lot of media reports about this, people comment on it, we learn from that, and we continue developing. And hopefully it's even more streamlined by the time it comes out. Let's start with the Pro Max 030 case. So as you can see, the look and feel is quite a bit different from what you know from our gaming cases. It's a bit more modest. It does, however, still have some tempered glass, but not as banging your face RGB as what you would see in most of our gaming cases. It comes with a nice mesh-like design on the front, so it can properly breathe as well. Not the full panoramic view that you would, for example, get on the Pano, which is more of a gaming look again. It is a full ATX case as well, and that's also why it fits the motherboard that I will talk about next, which is the Pro Max X870E-A Wi-Fi. Before we get any confusion about this is a Pro Max is basically the segment. So it is not a Max series motherboard in a sense that it, for example, has OC engine. Also, it is a Pro motherboard, so it's not specifically targeted at overclocking. Of course, you can do it. It is still X870E, and AMD CPUs are still unlocked. So if you want to overclock with it, you can. You can still do it through the unlock multiplier, but you cannot.
But then there are better motherboards.
Yeah, I wouldn't specifically recommend this model if you're into overclocking. However, it does have a 64 megabyte BIOS, so it is completely future-proof in terms of BIOS updates. It also comes with Ultra Connect, so you get 5 gigabit and 2 gigabit LAN, so dual LAN on this board. And of course, for certain professional tasks, you will benefit from that, because sometimes you will also be running multiple networks at the same time. It also comes with Wi-Fi 7, it comes with USB 4, Lightning Gen 5, so PCI Express Gen 5, all the good stuff is on there as well. And it has a nice white silverish look and feel to match with the rest of the Pro Max series. Then let's head over to the liquid cooler, the Pro Max M15 360. Of course, the name already says it. It's a 360 millimeter liquid cooler, so it comes with 3 120 millimeter fans. The CPU block on here, it does have a display. It's not an LCD screen. So this is a bit similar to what we saw earlier on the AP15 air cooler. So there is it's more like a dashboard kind of thing. It's not like a screen like you saw on the AP17. But it will give you some diagnostic information about your system. Then the Pro Max 1000 PL power supply, of course, in the same look and feel as well, fully modular power supply. The P in the product name stands for platinum efficiency, so it's 80 plus platinum certified. And it also, of course, comes with the latest type of connectors like the new 12 plus 4 pin power connector, all those things. So these, again, all prototypes, so things may still change a bit in terms of look and feel. But we're very curious to hear media feedback, but also to hear your guys' feedback. So let us know what you think of these new Pro Max components. And if you have very good feedback, then we may incorporate it in the actual products when they come out.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it from my side.
Yeah, so I'm going to check for my kit. First, I just picked the system picked a winner again with the loyalty bonus. Loyalty bonus.
It's a very lame bonus.
yeah, I cannot pronounce his name. Antoine BMT 098.
BMT, as in bacon. What is it? Oh no, that's BLT, right? Bacon, lettuce, tomato.
yeah. Anyway,
congratulations! You
yeah,
also won a game code for
if
NO117.
the coming,
I still see a question in the chat, by the way.
Yeah.
User 1898 is asking: is Pro Max higher than MPG? No, it is. It's not higher. It's like a very different segment. Where for the MAG, MPG, MEG, we really target gaming and to a certain extent also overclocking. The Pro series are more targeted at prosumers, so people who don't necessarily use their PC for either gaming or overclocking, but use it for professional workflows, so
Mike.
for work kind of things, or can also be hobby related. So that's also why you see different design choices. So in certain areas, they could be higher end than certain gaming motherboards. In other areas, they could be lower end than certain gaming motherboards. So we just make different design choices.
I see Revive Jesus. He is saying, do you guys still make things without screens and RGB? And I want to say, yeah, that's Unify. But actually, I saw RGB in Unify.
There is a bit of RGB on this Unify.
Yeah, my God. What the hell did we do?
There's no screen on it.
No, that's true. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Mike. I'm going to cut you off because.
I can continue for another hour if you want.
You're only 20 minutes over time. So.
That's not too bad, right?
Mankit already warned me about it. Actually, he warned me about Peter and about you talking too much.
Yeah, because I think I was not fully responsible for those 20 minutes. Peter already started it.
No. I think Peter finished about 5 minutes too late. Doesn't matter.
Then I account for the other 50.
Yeah.
Then I will quickly head out of here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks everyone to listen to my rattling.
Yeah. I'm going to check if Mankit is available. Bye, Michiel.
Bye.
Hey, Mankit, you're still low quality.
Yep.
It needs to some time to find the bandwidth, so his picture will be sharper in a second or 500. Hey, Mankit, let's start with the Pro Max series, because actually the interesting thing about Pro Max is this is not only for components, what Michiel presented, but if I continue, we also have Pro Max desktops and monitors.
Yep, that's true. So here we can see the Pro Max 150 AI Plus series. So these incorporate the more newer AI chip series, the 300 series of AMD. And because it's a 15-liter chassis, so it can actually fit up it can fit up to RTX 5070, and also comes with the newest Wi-Fi, but also has safety features such as DTPM support. That's kind of like unmissable nowadays. Chassis intrusion, padlock, Henderson lock, so this the standard security things that you can find on a PC. But we did add thumb screws to these cases, so that it's easily accessible for everyone, but also included a lot of USB ports, because I mean you can never have enough of USB ports.
Absolutely.
Can you go to the next slide?
Sure.
So that people can see what it looks like. So to me, in my opinion, it looks quite nice. The front is different. It's a little bit more, let's say, soft on the edges, which is something I think looks pretty nice instead of the very like square, sharp like edges. I think this gives more of a pro type of feeling. But yeah, it supports so much USB ports, and it's so compact. I mean, in this picture, it might look a little bit big, but 15 meters.
I think if I go back, you probably see it on the desk here.
Yeah,
it's this one.
Yeah. So you can see the Pro Max built next to it, and you can actually see that the Pro Max 150 AI Plus is actually a lot smaller. So really nice, actually. Then we have the Pro Max 80 AI Plus series. Also supports the main security features, supports up to Wi-Fi 7. But because of the size, you can expect that it does not support up to a 5070. I might be wrong, but the size is very similar to a DP80. So I think it would support low profile.
Yeah, makes sense, like 3050 or something.
Yeah, exactly, like 3050 or maybe like a 5050 if that comes out later. That's not decided yet. But it does support DDR5 up to 64 gigs. If you go to the next slide, you'll see that's even more compact, so even smaller than the previous one. And because it has because it can support up to Ryzen AI 9 365 processor, you can expect up to 73 tops, which means it can also run Copilot Plus, but also run some like, let's say, like basic AI programs.
Yeah, so and this is a 8-liter design, so it's quite small.
Mhm.
We talked in our live stream end last year about all the Pro desktops. So yeah, then you know what 8-liter it's.
Yeah. So like the Pro DP80 is more Intel focused, and this one is more AMD focused.
Yeah.
But then we also have the all-in-ones. So we have them in both 24 and 27 inches. CPU wise, it's one generation lower, so it can support up to Ryzen 7H 255. But it does support the latest Wi-Fi 7, and also has the extra features such as cable management and an accessory slot. But one thing that I find really nice is that it has a 120 hertz refresh rate, so it's less tiring on the eyes. For me, that's a huge plus, because on 60 hertz, if you're used to anything above 60, then 60 just feels really, really slow. But also the fact that it has a touch panel, so you can just use your finger for everything. So that's a big plus for me.
Okay, so 120 also coming to the professional market. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the model, right?
Yes, and this is
But you have it in white and black.
Yeah. So Pro Max is not limited to just white products. We actually have both white and black.
Yeah.
Although the majority that we've seen is mostly in white. But yeah, for example, here you can see a black product. Yeah. But then we also have OLED coming to the Pro scene. So this is a Pro Max 271 UPX W12G.
We are internally fighting a lot with the,
yes.
not fighting is a big word, but discussing about the long marketing names. And my kids spend a lot of time on it, but it's difficult, it's very difficult to make a short name, because there are so many different models with different features. Mankit, for this model, maybe later we talk about the dark armor with the gaming. I think that's better, right?
Mm-hmm. But regarding this product, it still uses the old naming rule, because recently we've also been going through changes, because we've received like we hear you guys, we hear about the complaints of long names and everything. So we've been trying to work on it, but this one still has the old one, because I still understand it.
Which means 27-inch, first generation, 4K. P is adjustable stand. X is above 120 hertz.
Well, actually, the X here, I don't.
Should be about 240, right?
Yeah, but this one.
But that's gaming. Okay, this is different.
Yeah, X, I actually wouldn't know.
W is white. 120 or 12 is 120, and G is
for green, so EP and everything.
Oh yeah, EP.
SR, stuff like that.
Anyway, you guys don't buy this. This is for non-gamers, the other people.
To be honest, as a gamer, this could also be something that you might like, because let's be honest, white monitors, white OLEDs, there's only been one until now, and that one is a 32 4K inch one. So this is a 27 inch one that actually also has the soft edges and everything. So there are people that might like this, but it also comes with
It's
the newer
it
OLED
looks like a
panel.
gaming monitor in white.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
only it has 120 hertz. Some people might not like that.
but
Some
4K
people might
120,
not
that's
even need it.
still decent.
I mean, if you don't play any fast-paced shooters, then I would say this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And since it's 27 inch, the PPI is 166, which is quite high. So you can expect like crisp pixels on your screen. So everything would look really nice. And of course, because it's a Pro Max product, it comes with let's say the typical Pro benefits, so like the KVM and power delivery, and of course you can expect firmware updates on this monitor as well.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like. In my opinion, really nice.
Wow. Yeah.
I was looking for a white OLED, but in the end didn't go for it. But if I knew this was in the making, then I might have waited. But yeah, to me it looks amazing, and I think this would also be great for productivity.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks, especially with the visual on it, looks awesome.
Yeah.
But that's what you can expect from QD OLED.
Then we have another productivity monitor. So the Pro Max 271 QPHW. So Eric, what does this mean? What do the letters mean?
I will tell everybody in like 1 month time. I really don't know.
But this one's not an OLED, so it's an IPS panel. Still very good. Which since it's an LCD, you can expect it to go a lot brighter. It's not 4K, it's QHD, so 2560 times 1440. Less blue light pro, so you can expect your eyes to not be tired that quickly. Has the productivity intelligence app for adjusting screen settings through the PC. So instead of going to the
quite
OS,
useful.
yeah. And it's 144 hertz. So if you want a game on this, that's of course a possibility. Regarding user friendliness, it also supports KVM, firmware updates, and power delivery up to 65 watts.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
Yeah, nice. This is the one on the CES stand.
Yeah, exactly.
On the booth. Yeah, I no clue what the H means, Monkit.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
Maybe just height adjustable. I don't know. No, that's
no, that's a P. That's a P.
Yeah. I don't know. They've been changing the naming rule, and nothing has been fully confirmed yet. So maybe this is the new naming rule. But next is a desktop that comes with the newer AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395. So this is a very good productivity CPU, and has up to have 50 plus TOPS. So this one also has the newest Radeon 8060S graphics integrated graphics. So you can expect the AI power, I would say, for this CPU to pre.
Monkit, what are you doing? The whole we said in the beginning we're not going to talk about AI. I did not talk. Yeah, I mentioned once.
Yeah, but I can't help it because the AI is
Peter
already.
didn't talk about AI. Michiel avoided AI, and now you are AI this, AI that, and AI this.
Yeah, but we're talking about desktops and
okay,
about AI.
Okay. Hey, but you can also game on it.
Yes, because the integrated graphics card of the CPU actually outperforms a 4060 laptop GPU in most games. And in some games, it can actually matches the same performance. So if you want a game, I mean, go ahead. This is a great CPU for that.
Depending on the resolution, looks interesting indeed.
Yeah. Well, this is QHD, so it's actually.
Oh my kid! What do I see? Whoa. AI Edge? What?
Yep. So this is called the AI Edge series. So this PC is a 4-liter chassis um, computer, well, desktop. And this is actually really focused on AI. I'm sorry, Eric, but it's in the name of the product, AI Edge.
No, there are a lot of customers looking for AI solutions,
Yeah.
and especially edge solutions. Edge basically means you're not running AI in the cloud, but you're running it locally at your own PC, desktop, server, whatever you want to call it. And that's of course not only faster but more secure. You are the owner, or let's say the owner of your own data set, so you have it locally. Yeah, that's also a
Mhm.
big trend what we see with companies, and that's why we have the AI Edge series.
Yep, and it also supports unified memory. So what that means is that um, the PC can actually allocate memory to the GPU, so that it doesn't bottleneck doesn't bottleneck VRM, and it can support. It can actually assign up to 96 gigabytes to the GPU, so that you can run these local language models like a lot more efficiently and faster.
Yeah, and this is a 4-liter design, so it's quite
Yeah,
small.
so it's really small actually.
Yeah.
Because the previous ones were already quite small, so this one is even smaller. So it's like half the size of the Pro Max 80.
Yeah. And
This
this
is
is
what it looks
the
like.
model
Very
on the
unique
boot.
design. Kind of gives me a Mac type of vibe. No?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of, right? Very
Bit, yeah.
clean. And also, it runs AI Robot Lite, which is a.
Are we getting a sample of this?
Not sure actually. I haven't actually asked HQ about it,
Yeah,
but
recently they asked some like, do you want this and this and this? And
yeah,
this
they
was not
only
one of
asked
them.
about the.
No, don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Yeah,
NDA maybe. Watch out.
yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Then we also have because that's the AI PC based on AMD. We also have the Edge Expert, and that's based on the GGX Spark platform. And that's I don't want to say for more professionals, but for people. Basically, we are running on NVIDIA CUDA, their LMMs and their AI instances. So is that a disk drive behind the Chrome? No, that's just design. Is that a CD-ROM? An
No,
optical? No,
no.
no, no. That's just design. But yeah, you're right. It looks like it. And so this is also available on the market already. So then we have the NUC AI
Yeah.
Plus 3M. So that's 3 is Panther Lake.
Yeah. So this is the newer QE with the Panther Lake CPU. So this means that it can support even more TOPS to run Copilot Plus. But regarding the rest of the specifications, it's quite similar to the 2MG. So the biggest difference is the CPU here.
Yeah, basically it's lower power and more performance.
Yeah.
That's what Panther Lake is all about. And you also get a quite decent GPU, not integrated GPU, not with the Ultra 9, but with the Ultra X9. And of course, this, I mean, we say here now Ultra 9. Probably this one will also come with the Ultra 7 and maybe also with the X9. To be honest, I don't know.
It comes with a 7 and a 5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So just like the predecessor, really small 0.51 liter chassis. Also to Thunderbolt 4, 40 gigabits per second. So you can support up to 4 displays on this small PC.
So that's 2 Thunderbolt, 1 HDMI, and 1 DisplayPort?
2 HDMI and 2 Thunderbolt.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then, it also supports up to the latest Wi-Fi 7, and has dual 2.5 gig LAN for, well, it's more aimed at professional customers, so professional use.
So basically, this is a QB with Panther Lake.
Yeah. Then we have the QB NUC TWG. So these are more focus on power to performance type of QBs. So the N series are in general very efficient. Also have a low TDP.
So this is like N100, 150, 200, etc.
Exactly.
So then you talk about
these
8,
chips are
8 watt or something?
I think 50. Some are 8, some are 15 watt.
Let
but
me see.
That's like almost nothing. But this is really
Intel
more
Arc N200.
casual users. Oh,
Oh, 6 watt. Is the N200 a 6 watt?
oh, even lower.
But that's an older one. So that's Alder Lake N.
Yeah.
TWG. I don't know what it means. We will find out.
Neither do I right now. But yeah, you can. The aim for these of these QBs is more casual users, people that do not even think about gaming. I think because it's more used for like casual browsing, working, that type of scenario.
Yeah.
But this one is
on
a
the
little
booth.
bit bigger than the QB NUC AI Plus, but the difference is so small. I don't think people will notice it. 0.04 liters. I think like if you hold it, you might feel the difference.
Gaming monitors. I pushed too fast.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. We can go to the gaming monitors. This is actually the newest product that we have right now. So this is the MPG 341 CQR QD OLED X36, which means it has 360 hertz refresh rate. But the most amazing thing about this is that it supports the newest QD OLED technology. So it's the 5th gen, and
so I think like half a year ago or maybe a bit longer ago, we talked about 4th gen, right?
No, sort of. Like there's confusion between the different gens of QD OLED.
Okay.
Some call like some people would call this the 4th gen. Some people will call this 5th gen. It's really confusing, but you can recognize.
But this is the same like what we had then, only it's like a ultra wide version of it.
No, because this is actually the first screen that we actually put on the market that has the new sub-pixel layout. So previous QD OLED models had a different pixel layout. So they had a triangular pixel layout that caused color fringing. So me personally, I'm not really bothered by it. Some people, but some people actually find it really hard to work on an OLED because of the sub-pixel layout, and this actually helped improve it a lot. But next to the sub-pixel layout, we also incorporated something called the dark armor film. So for the OLED users at home right now that have an OLED monitor, they might notice that it has like a magenta, like a purple glow when it's turned off. When you put a light on it, you'll see that it's not fully black when it's turned off, but it's more purplish. But thanks to the dark armor film, it's actually like almost pure black. Let's say, and we also increased the hardness of the screen from 2H to 3H, because in the past, sometimes even just the packaging would scratch the monitors a little bit. So to improve that, it has gone from 2H to 3H. So it's more scratch resistance, and I actually think that in the video of Linus that I watched, he even grabbed a cat and scratched it, scratched the screen, and there was no scratch.
Like a cat, like an animal.
Yeah, an actual cat animal. Yeah.
Okay, I need to watch that.
Yeah, very, very, very fun video to see. But yeah, 360 hertz on an ultra wide. That's something I would like to experience, and I think we will have a future live stream about this. But yeah, thanks to the dark armor film, we also have True Black 500. So most.
That's difficult. Then we need to find again, like what we did with the previous live stream about monitors. How are we going to demo this live?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I wonder, scratch the screen or not, and then put a camera on it, damage the. Let's see if we can damage the product or not.
No. No. So this is to make it more black, darker. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Deeper blacks. Okay, nice.
and because of that, it also helps with contrast, and also because of that, well, I wouldn't say we manage, but it supports. It actually has display HDR True Black 500, and the previous models had True Black 400.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So also because of the dark armor film and some new technologies that we implemented in the monitor, some people that already have an OLED, they might notice if you open a program that's, let's say, white, the rest would also change color.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say change color, would change brightness.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Previous time I didn't know. I had a lot of difficult questions about OLED, and then I think you or Peter said, "Why don't you take one home?" I have now here. I'm looking at it, and yeah, I discovered some positive things. I discovered some negative things, and this is one of the negative things. You're now going to say you fixed it.
No, I wouldn't say I fixed it, but we fixed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's fixed, and you can actually customize it yourself.
Difficult question. Do I get a firmware update for my current monitor? Or
Ooh, that's something I don't know.
okay.
But that's something I can ask.
Because
Yeah.
it looks like software. I see a
Yeah,
menu.
this is more a software-based type of thing. So I think, but I'm not certain. But I think this can be fixed through a firmware update.
Yeah. Does the OLED pixel shift if there is? Yeah. This is all standard. We have a lot of technologies inside to prevent burn-in.
Yeah.
And I think what's the website? Australian one who's doing the burn-in test.
Oh, Monitors Unboxed.
Yeah, Hardware Unboxed, Monitor Unboxed. Indeed, they're doing a burn-in with a MSI OLED monitor, already running for like more than 1.5 years or something.
I think 1.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
The video. Like he tests the monitor in like the most, let's say, the worst case scenario type of situation.
Basically, productivity.
Yeah. So like a lot of still images, not using the OLED care technology, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you see some wear, you see some burn-in, but it's not as what I would have expected.
Yeah.
When we launched OLED monitors for PC in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, Okay, yeah, this, I'm going to check with issue on my kids. You can maybe do this, if this will also be like a firmware update, will be interesting.
So now you've seen a lot of MEG products. You've seen a motherboard, you've seen a case. I would call Supreme an MEG level of graphics card, and also the newer cooler. And well, we've done a live stream on the power supply unit as well. So we've decided to make the set, to expand the set and to include a monitor. That's the MEG X, and I've seen it a couple times in the chat already, or we're going to talk about it. Yes, we are. So this is actually, let's say, like a tier up from the previous monitor. That also explains the name MEG. The segment MEG versus MPG. So it also includes the dark armor and also has the uniform luminance. So you can expect the screen quality to be amazing as well. But what's amazing about this one is all the AI features.
You said it again.
With AI because it's a true AI gaming monitor.
Okay, show me. Whoa, it looks nice.
Yeah, so you will see the screen on the screen from the frontal side, and then the image on the monitor itself shows the backside. So it's in my opinion, a very futuristic type of, but still very.
And the name is just MEGX.
Yeah, MEGX.
Okay, so that's a good new naming rule for monitors.
Exactly. Just give it one letter.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's gonna stay this way, but I would say let's hope.
Oh, Paulie explains everything has a very interesting question in chat. Is it possible to buy a specific number of lightning eggs? I want. You should not put it in the chat because now everybody's going to hunt for your number. 477 to match my godlike X main board. Ah, that's nice. That's
ask support. Maybe.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know when Lightning will be launching. I don't think it will be that long. I don't know how the production will go. Will it like be one batch of all the numbers? And I don't know how they will do this. So sorry, Paulie, I cannot answer your question. It will be difficult, no doubt about it.
Eric, maybe we should ask for 477 for the live stream.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, Peter is still watching. Peter, can you maybe check this? Yeah. We're going to dive into it, but mission almost impossible, I would say. But so, I totally understand what you're saying. So that's a very good point you're making. And maybe we should look into how we can realize something like that, because you are probably not the only one with this ID.
No.
Yeah. So and by the way, 477, I have that. So sorry. It's my lightning. No, I'm joking. Okay, Monkit, next one.
Yeah, but specification-wise, very similar to the MPG version, but the features-wise, it's quite different because this incorporates AI. So here that detects on-screen content. So you don't need to set up anything yourself beforehand, and it works.
Sorry. Did you say it hacks?
No. It detects.
Oh, detects. Yeah, because
no,
this sounds
hack anything. No.
Okay.
But
this sounds like the AI cheat monitor we have.
Yeah, but
we talked about.
We're also still like waiting on feedback regarding this one, if people will like it or not, or if
tell me about it. AI tracker, Vision Plus, scene.
Yeah. So some of these things are actually already familiar with some people. For example, the AI scope. So that's something that I will not go through. So AI tracker. This helps highlighting characters. Some people might call this cheat. Because let's say you're gonna play a shooter and they're hiding in a corner, but it's like a dark corner. This would help. But
okay, no comment. I'm just going to continue.
Yeah. AI gauge. So here it will actually look at your HP bar, and then the spectrum bar below, like at the bottom of the screen. It will actually help you to show you how much HP you have left.
Yeah, we had that in the past with Steel Series. I forgot the name. This like 3 years ago or something. I'm getting old. But now it's by AI, so automatically detected.
Yeah.
I think this is not cheating. I mean, it's a nice feature, and you probably you have Ambilight. Like with movies, you can program this yourself.
Yeah, and to be honest,
but this one is cheating.
I mean, to be honest, like some games already support these types of functions, anyways. With your RGB inside your case. So this is.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to run the animation again.
Oh.
So you click with your mouse, and he's capturing. Okay.
No, you don't have to do that yourself. It's just showing you.
I see here a mouse.
Yeah. But it's just showing you what it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. AI scene.
This is, in my opinion, definitely not cheating.
No.
So it just detects the type of content you're playing right now. So, for example, they see a car, like kilometers per hour or miles per hour on your screen, and they will think, okay, it's a racing game.
Yeah.
They'll change the scene to racing mode, so that.
Yeah, indeed, that's similar what we had like with movie mode, racing mode.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. This one I find a little bit
cool. AI goggle. It says goggle. Do you write it like that? Yeah. Otherwise, it would be Google. AI Google. No,
but
Goggle.
this improves visibility during flashbangs, and this I am a little bit afraid of.
Yeah. I need
In
that
my
for Battlefield
opinion-
6.
In my opinion, this is already more towards, I would say, something like cheating,
This
because
is
you use
just cheating,
flashbangs
Monkit.
to, well, blind the other person, and if it improves your visibility, well, buy flashbangs, I guess.
I love that we put here recommended for use a single player game or
Exactly.
practice.
Yeah. Though don't use it in multiplayer. Please don't.
We're going to have a lot of comment on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can quote me on that. Anyway, it's a nice feature.
It is a
Nobody
nice
knows you have
feature,
this.
though,
They think their flashbang is broken.
but well,
Cheating like hell.
yeah. See, Michiel says it's a cheat feature.
Yeah, it's really. Okay, next. I'm hesitant to push next, but I'm still going to do it. Oh, that's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And it actually it also has voice control. So since it has voice control,
Mike
I
says it's a
think-
feature. Not a feature, but a feature.
but the monitor also has voice control through AI Robot Lite, which means somewhere on the monitor there is a microphone. But yeah, I wonder how often will I talk to my monitor?
I talk a lot to my phone.
Oh,
Yeah, with Gemini, so many things when I'm with my son and he's asking me a question, and I'm stupid, so I don't know a lot of shit. But then I'm just, hey, oh, no, I'm not saying, hey, I just push my button and I say, what do you think about this? How does this happen or whatever? And explain for a 10-year, actually today is his 11th birthday, but explain to 11-year-old kid, and then and talk for 5 minutes or something. But yeah. I'm
so
old, but
this
I
would be
use
nice
this
to
a
hear
lot.
then, I
So
guess. Because like I barely talk with AI whatsoever. Maybe
yeah,
just to
but
do
young
the live
generation, you have
broadcast.
like two thumbs and you can type like hell. I'm old and I'm fat, so my fingers are too big for the mobile phone. So with my
Okay.
phone, I talk.
Yeah, this is. I think this is a very. This is nice for some people. Some people they will never make use of it. But for example,
Um,
I would not use it. You might.
yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
check because I use a lot of Perplexity on my desktop, and I never considered to talk to my desktop. Probably, I have a microphone, obviously. So I'm just going to check how if I can also talk with two. I can find out right now. Yeah, there is a microphone, but I'm not going to do it. Otherwise, we destroy the live stream or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to try. Maybe it's faster than typing. With Gemini on my phone, I don't want to say flawless, but I would say my bad English. 85% of the time, he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I basically I like the feature.
Okay. Erik van Beurden, we need an Armin van Buren collab.
Yeah. Oh yeah, G-Sync Pulsar. I saw about that. Interesting. Very
So
interesting.
this will be our G-Sync Pulsar monitor. I think we had one in the past, but that's been a long time ago.
G-Sync. Yeah, we had a 360, and I think 500. Is that possible? Yeah.
In the past?
Yeah.
With Pulsar?
No, not the Pulsar. Sorry, just the G-Sync.
Yeah. No, but this supports Pulsar. This is actually a NVIDIA technology. So they say that it has 4 times the effective motion clarity. So with this monitor, you can expect the motion clarity of 1000 hertz.
So basically, motion blur is gone.
Yeah. I haven't seen this in person yet,
No.
but I'm pretty sure we'll have a live stream about this one.
Yeah.
I will ask for a sample if they have one. But this would be very interesting for fast people that play a lot of fast-paced shooters. Definitely, let's definitely take a look at this one.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
actually, it should be called MPG Counter-Strike version. something.
or I mean, Valorant or
Yeah.
any like fast-paced shooters. Yeah. Any esport titles, I would say. And the thing is, like, 360 hertz is very achievable on a lot of these esport games. While let's say a 500 hertz monitor, it will be like a little bit more difficult to reach 500 hertz. So that's why this monitor is very interesting for people that play fast-paced shooters. You know.
I see user, what is it? User 1898. That's old, if that's your date of birth. 1332p. Is that for faster response instead of 4040p? Where do we have that?
The aspect ratio options. No, it's just
Oh, yeah. Now I understand. Yeah,
yeah.
you answer.
No, it's just to change the aspect ratio options. I wouldn't say like aspect ratio, but like more like this screen size. So some people really prefer having like a smaller screen on their screen to play these fast-paced shooters because
Yeah, so basically this is 27 inch, and if you go to 32, if you change the aspect ratio, it feels like a 25 inch or maybe even
or
smaller.
24 or even smaller if you.
Yeah, and that's for esports. You know, a lot of esports people, they don't like to watch on the screen like this. They just want to watch like this and see everything in their field of view. And yeah, this is especially for them.
Yeah,
we have it already on some monitors.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of monitors, like almost
QD
all
OLEDs.
the monitors that like came out last year that are QD OLED especially. Yeah.
Corbecu, YouTube is saying no new pre-built desktops. That's a question. No, not this CES.
No, not the ones that you already know. No.
Okay, yeah, what we talked about in the past. Okay, so Pulsar, do you have any date when this is going to be available?
No, actually, I don't know.
Yeah, then we will wait. Oh. This is Pulsar on our booth in action.
Yeah.
So, and this is also the first G-Sync monitor with firmware update I saw.
Yeah, and these firmware updates are actually provided by NVIDIA. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And this is how it actually would look like. So with G-Sync Pulsar off, it would be like a lot more blurry. But then with Pulsar on, it would remove a lot of that blurriness.
Yeah. Movie.
Yeah, great example. So someone from YouTube said it's not even detectable by anti-cheat software. I used to have a screen with built-in crosshair. I think a lot of screens have a built-in crosshair nowadays. So, I mean, like, would you call that cheat? A crosshair? I mean, you can put like a piece of paper with like a dot on it or draw on your monitor, and
that's how we did it in the past.
Yeah,
tape
exactly.
on the monitor.
That's how I used to do it in the past as well. So yeah.
Okay, and, we talked about this, the firmware updates.
Yeah.
Oh, here maybe a better explanation about 1332p.
Yeah.
Monkit, sorry, I didn't know you had these slides, so...
No, that's fine, But this shows all the different aspect ratios options that you can choose from. So it would change your screen from a 27-inch to a 25-inch or even smaller than that. And like Eric explained, smaller FOV, field of view, means there are less things that you have to pay attention to. So yeah. Meanwhile, I play on a 32-inch and still play shooters, so it's personal preference.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Then we actually have a 5K monitor, and this is very, very new for me, and also definitely.
No. We had a 5K monitor before.
Oh, okay. That's probably before my time.
Yeah. Actually, that's a long time ago, and I gave it to our designer, to Jeroen, and he said I don't like it because, the aspect ratio, it was like ultra wide, He had problems with designing banners, and he said, "Yeah, I want just a normal standard 4K screen."
But then he might like this one because it's a 27-inch. So
Yes. Well, no, don't say that. Otherwise, I need to fix this for him. I hope he's not watching, and we're not going to tell him we have this.
But this monitor has even more dim zones than the last mini LED monitor that we introduced. So this one has,
how many did that one have? 16.
that one had half. So that one had
half.
1152.
Yeah.
And this
Oh yeah,
one
yeah.
had,
Now I remember. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's quite interesting because we did a live stream about that, and it was all dark to show everybody what the mini LED, how it worked, and how it compared to QD OLED.
Yeah.
And IPS. We also had an IPS monitor.
Yeah. This one is also IPS. So if you're interested in wanting to know how mini LED differs from OLED, definitely take a look at the live stream that we did about it. But yeah, what you can expect a very high pixel per inch from this monitor because it's 27-inch, but it's 5K. So never seen it in person, something like this. Never seen a 5K screen either. So I would expect things to look very, very clear on this monitor. But it also supports dual mode. So it supports 2K 330 hertz. So 2K in this case would be 2560 times 1440. The name is something that I'm not familiar with.
I like it. It should just be MPG raw without all the numbers.
Yeah, but now it's MPG Claw.
Claw, yeah.
And I don't know what K means. I don't know what, maybe R is for RGB.
Any release date for this one, Monkit?
Also not sure yet.
Yeah, that's always with CES. We have a lot of new stuff. Some are even not in production. Some are already in production and you can buy next week. Apparently not this monitor. Actually, the first screen we showed you, the 5th gen, editors already have a sample and the reviews are online already.
Yeah.
So it should be available for sales quite shortly.
Yeah, so the MPG 34-inch 360 hertz monitor, that one will come out soon. Like Eric said, reviewers already have it.
Yeah.
And they've been doing reviews on it.
They have it and we don't have it yet.
Yeah, but what they received were engineering samples.
Okay.
Yeah. We can go to the next. Then we have another 5K monitor, but this is a MAG model, so more entry level, although still really good. MAG does not mean it's very basic or whatsoever. This one is also IPS, but this one actually has 4 times the refresh rate than on 2K in comparison with 5K. So,
okay, let me go one slide back.
Yeah.
So this is from 2K 330 to 5K 165.
Yeah.
And this one is from 2K 300, so it's actually 330 to 200.
Yeah, it was
to
4
5K
times.
75. So okay, why the 4 times?
Something they decided.
Yeah. Oh, it's also G-Sync, I see. Yeah, probably G-Sync compatible.
No, it's G-Sync compatible. Same with the last monitor. Yeah.
Quite confusing.
Yeah. But even though it's a MAG model, it supports firmware updates. A lot of complaints in the past about not all monitors having firmware updates, so we include this one in a firmware update as well, even though it's an MAG model. 5K, so expect like very, very crisp visuals on the screen. But this one is not a mini LED, so it's a regular LCD. But still IPS, so you can expect color accuracy to be quite good on this one as well. But yeah, LCDs, they tend to go brighter, so that's why like a mini LED is very interesting. They can go way brighter than OLEDs, but in dark scenes they might not perform as good as OLEDs, but the more zones, the better the blacks on monitor. So that's why the 2,304 zones. That's actually, I think, very interesting for a lot of users. Yeah.
Absolutely. I see a question in the chat of more like a rant or a complaint from Jade. Person is saying on YouTube, MSI must think customers are stupid. Like, how do we charge our customers extra? Add a screen on, they will pay a massive premium for a pointless screen. Well, we have products with a screen, and that's a trend, like liquid coolers. But maybe if you followed our live stream, you also see we have products without a screen. So there is and we have different segmentations: MEG, MPG, MAG, and we even have products below that. So there is always choice for everybody, and you can vote with your wallet.
Exactly. The products with the screen, we're not forcing you to buy those.
No. And actually, this monitor has a screen because it's a monitor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a monitor, so you need to have a screen.
That's it, Monkit.
Yeah.
For today. Thanks for your time. We also have a bad surprise, Monkit, because this is your last live stream, right?
Yeah. I'll be saying goodbye to MSI. So this is my last live stream with the team.
Yeah, sad news.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, this will be the last time you'll see me on the live stream.
Well, no, maybe not. We will make a picture of you and use you as wallpaper. Don't worry. And you're laughing, but we will do it.
I'm sorry, guys, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's also why in 2 weeks' time we need to do, because Monkit is going to have a holiday before he starts his next career choice. Yeah, we're going to do a live stream about Infinite Z3. So this is our X3D gaming desktop. And this was already planned first before, I think, November. And the sample was in the boat. And December, sample didn't arrive because it was shipped to like Italy or something, or Spain.
Yeah, so it went first to the Netherlands, then it went to Italy, then it went back. Then it was sent to our old location, even though we're moving.
Because we were moving.
And then they returned it back to the new location that we're at right now, and then they didn't scan it in, so nobody knew where it was.
You found it yesterday in the office, right? Somewhere?
Then we went to logistics, and logistics said, oh yeah, we had a return like 1 or 2 days ago, but we didn't process it yet, so here it is. And I'm like, wow. So we were actually looking for, I think, almost 2 hours to get this PC, and it was a nightmare, like a logistics nightmare, in my opinion.
Yeah, but luckily you found it, and Ruud is now already playing with it. So in 2 weeks' time, I think Peter and me, we will do this live stream without all the knowledge from Monkit. So we need to study 2 weeks really well to know all the ins and outs.
I think it's not going to be that difficult. I mean, you know a lot about the X3D chips.
We will see. See. To be honest, I didn't have a look at it, so I still need to next week.
Yeah. I mean, Ruud is already testing it for you. So
yeah. So that's in 2 weeks' times, Wednesday the 21st, at the same time as always. This time without Monkit. So thanks, Monkit, for all the hard work you did and all the knowledge you provided during the live streams.
Maybe a giveaway.
Yeah. We will do another giveaway. Good that you say. Oh yeah, we had so much. Actually, we're almost streaming for 3 hours.
Oh wow, it's almost 7.
Yeah, so hey, you were complaining, Erik. Peter will talk a lot, and you need to worry about Michiel. He will talk a lot. And who's now talking a lot?
Well, I already started late, and I told you I needed 30 minutes,
bullshit.
which is about maybe right.
Last winner for today for this Anno game code. It's Paraking. So Paraking, congratulations.
Congratulations.
And in the coming days, we will send to you. Thank you all. Michiel is saying it just took me longer.
Took longer than me just saying.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching. I hope, there was a lot of new information. And sorry, we don't have all the information about pricing and when, that's how CES works. In the coming months and half year, I'm sure you see a lot of these products on the market. So thank you all for joining, and hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. And we're just going to end the live stream here because we're from home, and this end animation, maybe it works now. I don't think so.
Well,
Otherwise,
have a nice day, everyone.
yeah, thank you. No, it doesn't work. I'm just going to click end live stream. Thank you.